Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video, 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with the best on fucking YouTube, your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe, or you can do my Cash App as well. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page, $34.99. Cop yourself a hoodie, no cap, it's all good, baby. And we're here. And we're here, baby. We are here. We're getting closer and closer and closer. Woo! We are getting ready for this NFL schedule release. For some people, NBA games matter, not me. For some people, MLB games matter, not me. All right? For some people, wrestling really matters. It does to me. But when it's NFL schedule release day, it's like a motherfucking holiday. Your boys are going to bring all the energy, all the fire. We can't wait to see what we're going to get. Now, we got a little bit of a leak. If you haven't smashed the fucking like button just yet, please motherfucking do. Smash the fucking like button for your boy. I know you guys, it only takes 1 second to do it, but it's good for analytics. It's good for metrics. Turn on NFL Network right now with your boy, and we're ready for week 1. Dallas fucking Cowboys, woo! Versus, you know who it is, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Woo, I can't wait. I can't wait to see Dak. I can't wait to see Zeke. Now, if you were going to watch a live stream for someone that's a hater, all right, they'd be like, fuck the Cowboys, fuck the Cowgirls, we're going to fucking smoke them after winning the championship, the Lombardi, all right, with Lombardi, Lenny, Tom Brady, and crew. But I'm not seeing it that way. I want to go in. I'm a fan of all 32 teams. I'm very, very excited to see Dak play. When Dak is healthy, it's good for the league. Just like when we had Jordan or Kobe, rest in peace, Kobe, all right, or anybody in the league, LeBron, KD, you want to have your superstars play in the league. It just makes the league overall better, because when obviously the Cowboys played and they didn't have Dak Prescott, it didn't look very good. It was not a good product. The defense was horrible. The defense was atrocious. The defense was embarrassing, but I can't wait. Comment and let me know that you're in the fucking room with your boy. Who else would you want to be watching NFL schedule release with? Huh? Tell me who else you want to be watching this with, baby. With your boy, Northwest Sports Fanatics 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash the fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. If you love the NFL as much as I do, which you know I love it, all right? This is a holiday for me. Some people, you know, they don't understand this. If you're a baseball fan or an NBA fan or just a hater of the NFL, I mean, this is the closest thing that we get since the NFL draft, and this stuff matters. We want to see who's on the road, all right, who's playing on Monday night, who's on prime time, who's got an easy schedule, who's got a tough schedule, who's looking good early on, who's looking good for an easy schedule in December, who can make a playoff run like my Bucks did. We want to be able to see all these matchups. We know the opponents, but we don't know who's playing who. Now, I thought that opening up the year with the Bears or maybe the Cowboys or the Bills, you knew it wasn't going to be the Patriots, because obviously with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, that's going to be one of the biggest storylines in years and years. Probably in the last 20 years, that's probably going to be one of the biggest matchups. I can't wait for that Buffalo Bills matchup. I wouldn't have minded if it was Bucks-Bills for a chance for the Buccaneers to lose game 1 and to get to see Josh Allen. But if you guys kind of know how they usually pick the opening game, which is Tampa Bay and the Dallas Cowboys. We've seen the Chiefs and the Texans the last couple years, so I knew more than likely it was going to be not a playoff team, but I'm very excited to see where it goes. A lot of movement. We got some signings. We got to go over some of the breakdown of the schedule that was released this morning, and we're going to get into it. So I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I've missed you guys. I love you guys. I was going to hop on last night, but I figured, I'm going to watch a little bit more film. I'm going to read a lot more articles and go over all the team websites. And this is something that is actually an event that I feel that people will watch this live, people can hop in, and then people will watch the repeat of this. But if you're not doing anything, I mean, what are you doing right now? We're watching NFL Network together, and it's going to be exciting to see where it goes. And obviously, as being a Buccaneer fight, a NOLA in the building, what to do. I'm going to acknowledge everybody in the building. I am excited to see where the Saints go. I could be just a hater and say, fuck the Saints, fuck everyone on their team. We own the division. But I am excited to see if Jameis Winston can actually do it, post LASIK eye surgery. Can they minimize the turnovers? Because if he throws for under 20 interceptions in the season, there's a good chance the Saints will make the playoffs just because they have a strong running game, elite coach, great defense. They still have holes to fill, right? And we don't really know about their draft picks just yet, but I want to be able to see the progression of the Falcons with Kyle Pitts, the Panthers with all their guys like J.C. Horn and company, and then to see the Saints, to see what they can do post-Drew Brees era. It's very exciting. Tyshawn Mullins in the building. What to do? Elijah Murray in the building. What to do? Sarah Small. Sup, Ryan? Go Colts. We play each other week 12. Ooh, baby. I can't wait. Bucks Cowboys week 1 in front of the whole entire nation, baby. Brute Saint in the building. What it do? Shiv in the building. Sup? What it do? AEW. Of course I love AEW. You know this. I know I love AEW, but this is NFL, baby. Nola, my boy, what it do? Said we got the Packers. Now it all depends if Aaron Rodgers, all right, is going to be on the Packers or if he's going to be on Denver or maybe another team. We're going to have to wait and see. But let's go over the schedule. And they're going to be going over all these different teams and all the different matchups. So if you guys have any comments or anything that you want to go over, it's on NFL Network right now. And they obviously went over some of the schedule that they released already for week 1. So let's go on and go over it here. And we can kind of see it. So let me go over here real quick. And we can go over the sketch. So let me see if I can find a good header here for this. So 1 second here. As we're going over some of the talks back and forth here on NFL Network. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So let me go here. NFL schedule release 2021. All right, let's take a quick look with the news. Let's bring this up. Let's see here. Let's take a quick look to see if they're going to show me some of the matchups or if they're going to just be making me wait here. So 1 sec, guys, while I go over everything. Let's see. Top 10 games. There's a lot of good matchups that we're going to be able to go over, too. I'm super excited, man. This is a big thing, man. This is a big, big thing at this point of year. All right, let's see. Schedule release. We want to see week 1, man. We want to see the schedule, all right? All right, so let's go over the schedule here as I bring it over on another screen. So 1 sec here while I bring it over. All right, here. And I don't know if the Cowboys are that excited about playing Tampa Bay week 1, but I am excited to be able to see Dak Prescott and company. So let's go here. All right, so we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's going to be on Thursday, right? September 9th. Can it end up showing up any sooner? We're all waiting for it. We all want that matchup to end up coming sooner than later so we can end up watching Tampa play some competitive football. I'm relevant. Teams are going to be gunning for me. And the Cowboys usually are fun to watch. They got Dan Quinn there, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks and the Legion of Boom. Then he kind of failed at head coach on Atlanta. All right, but now he gets a chance to rebuild that defense for the Dallas Cowboys. We damn boys. So we'll see on how that goes. But I am excited that's going to be Thursday, the first game. So everyone's going to be watching. Everyone's going to be paying attention, which is very, very exciting. So let's see that. And let me go through some of these other matchups here that I can see on the screen. I got my boy Levante David here on TV. What's new? The best of the best, sir, with Devin White. All right, so then on Sunday, all right, we got the Jaguars versus the Texans. The Texans are the dumpster fire of the NFL. We know this, right? We know that they are the worst team. The worst team. Jason Smith in the building. What to do? Sarah Small, Eric Fisher, big signing. I did see that. But the Texans are the biggest dumpster fire. They are going to be teams that still want to reach out, right, for Deshaun Watson. But we don't really know what's going to happen. I know my guy, Kayvon Thibodeau, might be the first pick in the draft next year, and he might go to the Texans. I don't want him to, but the Texans are some shit. Jaguars at Texans. Trevor Lawrence, that's going to be exciting. Chargers at Washington. My boy, Justin Herbert, going on the road and trying to get his season started off right against the divisional winner, Washington football team. Going to be very exciting to see if it's Ryan Fitzmagic, right, at QB, or if it's going to be Heineke from Meineke. Dylan, W26 in the building. What to do? Seahawks at Colts. Woo-hoo! What a great matchup. two playoff teams. We don't know where they're going to go. Dangerous. Always being dangerous, even though he's complaining about the offensive line. We know that it's going to be some shit, right? But the Colts are exciting. We're going to see what kind of football team they are right out the gates and see how Carson Wentz plays. And he's not going against an elite defense, so he should be able to do something there. Jets versus Panthers. Sam Darnold going against his former team. All right, Carolina at home. J.C. Horn, one of my favorite picks at corner. I absolutely love that. Panthers should mollywop the Jets. Vikings and Bengals, Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson. You get to see a little bit of everything there. I love that. And then we're going to have the Cardinals and the Titans. Two teams that want to be able to make the playoffs and make a name for themselves, even though they may not win their respective divisions as we go into 2021. Niners, Lions, kind of a stinker. But the Niners should bring some good football depending on who they start at QB. Steelers, Bills, playoff matchup. I absolutely love that. Eagles fly against the Falcons. Not a great matchup, but we get to see Kyle Pitts, and we'll be able to see what we get from Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, the Browns, and the Chiefs. That's definitely got to be one of the best matchups that you can think of right now, because I think right now with the Browns, all right, what they've done, last year's draft, A+. This year's draft, A+. Free agency with Jadeveon Clowney and company and JOK. Don't be surprised if the Browns make the AFC Championship game. You heard it here first. Don't be surprised if the Chiefs end up playing the Browns in the AFC Championship game. Now, there's other teams that I really like in the AFC, like the Buffalo Bills, and there's a few others, Ravens, Steelers, or, Titans, Colts. There's going to be a lot of teams floating around. But I definitely could see the Browns and the Chiefs playing each other deep and late in the playoff run. Buffalo Bills got to be right up there as well. Packers and Saints. Drew Brees era is over. All right, now we got Jameis Winston against, who is it going to be? Jordan Love? Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? We don't really know. So we're going to have to wait and see. But if he gets traded, we got Broncos and Giants. That'll be interesting. Dolphins versus the Patriots. Bears versus the Rams. Will we get Justin Fields? Week 1 against the Rams and Matthew Stafford? And then Monday Night Football, you get the Ravens against the Raiders. I can't wait. So that's basically what was leaked, or released this morning. And, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. And I got to get a sip of my energy drink. I am lit. Let's go, baby. But right now, if you're looking at the league, okay, if you haven't smashed the fucking like button just yet, please do. Oh, yeah. It's going to be exciting because you got the Chiefs, you got the Bills, and you got the Browns. And a lot of people are doubting the Browns. Don't. They're going to be a very good football team. I don't like Baker Mayfield. I don't like Odell Beckham Jr. I don't really like Jarvis Landry, but I like their running game with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. All right, I like their offensive line. All right, I like their defense. They made a lot of moves, so it's going to be interesting to see how far they can go this season. And you still think the Chiefs and the Bills got to be the two best teams in the AFC. But the Browns are coming. The Browns are coming, and don't be surprised, if they end up getting to an AFC Championship game this year, the following year. Nathan Dotson, Rizzle in the building. You got the notification, or at least you checked, because you knew that I was going to be online. What'd it do, my guy? Colt Brennan died. I did see that. Rest in peace, Hawaii legend. All right? I hate it when I see people die. All right, Tariq Cohen's brother, I saw that he passed away a couple days ago as well. So they're going to be going over the schedule, 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. Man, I'm screaming and I'm yelling. I'm already losing my voice and the stream just started. That's what happens, man, when you get excited and you start screaming about the NFL, baby. And I already worked a full day. So 8-9 hours I've already been working. I'm tired. I didn't get a chance to rest. I got a chance to change my clothes. I got a chance to scream at the computer and the TV, losing my voice already within the first couple minutes, because that's what I do, because that's how excited I am. And like I said, it's going to be a fun time to be able to see where the schedule lays out. But the way that I see the pecking order at this point, I got the Chiefs, I got the Bills, and I got the Browns, and I don't think anyone else is really that close to those three teams, especially what the Browns have done on defense. I'm an offensive line guy, and I'm a defensive guy. And don't mind me losing my voice. Oh, yeah. Sounding a little bit like Macho Man, new World Order 4 live, brother. It'll come back maybe at some point, all right? But when your boy gets excited about something like wrestling or NFL or college football, my voice will be gone sometime sooner than later, all right? Chiefs, Bills, Browns, all right? Remember those three teams. 2 out of those 3 more than likely will be in the AFC Championship game, all right? Unless we get some surprises like the Chargers or the Dolphins, someone that leaps a little bit sooner than later. And then on the flip side, it's got to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Rams, right? And then I don't really know beyond that. Those are the 2 top dogs, right? But then you're going to get teams like the Niners, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, the Packers, if they have Aaron Rodgers or not. We'll have to see what the NFC East does. We're not too sure there. But really, if the Packers don't have Aaron Rodgers and he goes to the AFC, then you got to put Denver in the mix as well. But really right now, it's really Tampa Bay and the Rams, in my opinion, on the NFC side. You could say Packers for now if Aaron Rodgers plays for them and Green Bay this season. How's everybody doing, man? Said Tampa got the easiest schedule in the league. Well, based on rumors, they were supposed to have a pretty tough schedule. They were supposed to play this matchup against the Cowboys, Week 3 against the Rams. I don't know if that's true or not. And then have to play New England Week 4. So I'm not sure how the schedule is going to be. And I imagine if it's tough in the beginning, like it was last year, and then it ends up getting a little bit easier, towards December. We ended up getting on a nice little run, and I'm excited to see, bringing everyone back, what we're going to look like. Colleen Wolfe, yes, please. I miss watching her on NFL Total Access. NFL Network schedule. Let's look at this. Giants in Washington. I love that. Danny Dimes, put up or shut up, motherfucker. Are you the guy or nah? All right. Panthers and Texans. Panthers will blow them out. Jags, Bengals. I don't really know what you're going to get there. Joe Burrow. They don't got no fucking offensive line. All right, but we get to see Trevor Lawrence. We're going to see Patriots and Falcons. Cowboys, Saints. Steelers, Vikings. Chiefs, Chargers. Woo! Week 15. Niners, Titans. Browns, Packers on Christmas Day. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Shiv says, don't be surprised if the Pats make AFC Championship game if Cam plays like he did pre-COVID. But let's be honest here. Cam is a little older. We don't really know what we're going to get from him. You know what I mean? I still like the Chiefs, the Browns, and the Bills, light years above and beyond what New England has, even if Mac Jones gets in there. Yeah, you got Jonnu Smith. Yeah, you got Hunter Henry, Nelson Aguilar. You got weapons. I get it, all right? But I need to see it. And so I don't know. I wouldn't put money on New England getting there. I don't think Cam's that good personally. You might be a Cam Newton guy, a Panther fan. You might be a Cam Newton fan, from the Panthers, Auburn, New England. I don't think he's that good, to be honest. I'm not trying to hate on him, you know what I mean? But I just don't think he's that good at this point in his career. And I wouldn't be shocked if Mac Jones gets a chance to play, depending on what the record ends up being. And that's not me being a hater. I just think at this point, he's a little older. He's not as mobile. He's more injury prone. He's not as accurate as he once was. And even back then, he really wasn't that accurate. All right. He's still a good red zone threat, right? Running the football, but I'm excited to see what they do. Chargers, I absolutely love them. Watch out for the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Giants. Those are my 3 teams that I really like, that I think that could do some damage. Washington still has to be the favored team in the NFC East, but the Giants, with all the weapons they got on defense and offense, all right, we got to see if Danny Dimes is the real one or not, all right, but the Giants could make the playoffs. They could win the NFC East or maybe get a wild card, all right. And on the flip side, Miami Dolphins, they're starting to do big things. Should have made the playoffs last year. And then you get, a team like the Chargers. It all depends if Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr., and all those other weapons on defense can stay healthy, all right?
And obviously on offense, Justin Herbert to me is a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 5, and that's big facts. Say, dude, are you going back to the trenches? Why are you wearing a helmet? Let's go, baby, Tampa Bay. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. Let's go. Shiv, I'm not sleeping on the Panthers. I actually like the Panthers a lot more than New England. New England has a better shot to make the playoffs, but you're going to be battling Buffalo, a better Miami team. Even the Jets should be a little bit better with Zach Wilson and company, but they'll still be the worst team. But I wouldn't be shocked if New England gets 10 or 11 wins, but they're not Super Bowl worthy, in my opinion. Playoff worthy? Possibly, but I could see them going 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, adding that extra game. But I'm not really that big on New England. I could see a Miami or a Chargers, one of those other teams, being just as good as them and maybe better. I mean, we got to wait and see how it all plays out, and that's big facts. I lost my voice already, Nemopolis. I got excited, started screaming at the TV. All right, getting ready for this. I've been hyped. I've been lit for this. And like I said, it doesn't take long, when I start screaming at the TV and doing the live stream. So, your boy loses his voice in 10 or 15 minutes. But we'll see if I get it back. We'll see. We will see. 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash the fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. So my voice is normally okay, but when you start screaming, sometimes you lose your voice. Friendly bet, Pats make or miss the playoffs. I would say there's a better chance for them to make it than to miss it. So you could get Buffalo, New England, and Miami all in, or Miami might make it next year. You never know. Or maybe Miami overachieves and wins the division, depending on what happens with Buffalo if they have injuries. Because everyone is just banking on Buffalo, winning the division for, the AFC East. Right, most people are banking on the Browns on being very competitive in the North. Right, we know the Chiefs are going to do their thing in the West. In the South, has got to be the Colts or the Titans. All right, that's pretty much what we think. But we will have to wait and see. But I think they can make the playoffs, but you never know about injuries. Some guys are coming back from the COVID and everything, so we're gonna have to see. Shiv is in the building, Nemopolis, Brute Saint in the building, Nathan Dotson. Cam is bad. I wouldn't want him on my team. Not to be a hater, because I always try to support and love the league in general, but I'm just going to give you my personal opinion. And obviously I give the Panthers love, Falcons, Saints, and I don't have to, being an NFC South guy, but if I think someone's good, I'm going to let you know. If I think someone's shit, I'm going to let you know. And at this point, I wouldn't want Cam as my quarterback. You know what I mean? I just don't think I can count on him on third down. He might be a first down clown, all right, which we're going to be getting into in the 2021 season. First down clown. Will that be Jameis Winston every single week, a first down clown? Or will that be Cam Newton, a first down clown? Maybe. We're going to have to wait and see. But I know someone is going to steal that from me, first down clown, and we're going to have to see if that ends up being a shitty quarterback, possibly a Jameis Winston or a Cam Newton. But maybe they end up surprising everybody. Cam Newton's got weapons. All right, it's a brand new year. And like I said, as long as he doesn't get COVID, maybe they can make some magic happen. I just don't really know how things are going to pan out. And we got to be able to see with injuries and everything else. But I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I've been dreaming about this day for about a week now. It's finally here. And they obviously released a little bit of the schedule early on this morning. And then we're watching NFL Network right now. So let me just go over some of the matchups again. So, LA Rams in the building, baby. What to do? We got Cowboys and the Buccaneers. That's going to be on September 9th, Thursday, for everyone to see. Realistically, Tampa Bay should win that by at least 10 points or more. But you never know what Dak's going to do. He might put on a showcase kind of game, but I definitely like the Buccaneers winning that first game. We got the Jags and the Texans. Hopefully the Jags can find a way to get Trevor Lawrence his first win in week 1. Chargers at Washington. I'll be rooting for the Chargers and my boy J. Herb heavy, but it's going to be tough to beat that defense. And depending on if they have Ryan Fitzmagic or Heineke from Meineke starting, we'll have to see what they do with Antonio Gibson and company and scary Terry McLaurin. But I like the Chargers this year. Chargers, Dolphins, Giants. That could be kind of the sleeper. That could be kind of a sleeper team, or teams this season. Jags, Texans, Chargers, Washington, Seahawks, Colts. Love that. Week 1. Jets, Panthers. Panthers should mollywop the Jets. Bengals, Vikings. Vikings should get that dub unless Joe Burrow can run away from his life and hit Jamar Chase week in, week out, quarter in, quarter out. But they should have went Penei Sewell. That was a bugaboo. All right. Cardinals, Titans, I like that matchup, all right? Corey Davis is gone, right? He's now going to be on the New York Jets with Zach Wilson. Will they win the division? Maybe, right? The Cardinals have a chance to win the division as well, but they still got the Rams to deal with, Seattle, and the Niners. NFC West is the best division in football, no cap. Niners, Lions. Niners should beat up Jared Goff. That should be ugly, right? Steelers, Bills, a playoff preview, possibly. I really like the Bills, not so much the Steelers at this point, but we'll have to see how the season goes. Eagles, Falcons. Eagles should get that dub. Browns, Chiefs, just like in the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked if the Browns won that game if they were at home. But since they're on the road, they'll probably lose, but it might be a lot closer than people think, and I could definitely see the Browns winning the AFC North, and I could see them making the AFC Championship game. And if the Chiefs or the Bills slip up at all, don't be surprised if the Browns make it to an AFC Championship game, possibly a Super Bowl within the next 4 years. I definitely could see the Browns, they had an A-plus draft last year, A-plus draft this year. You picked up Clowney, you got Myles Garrett, you got J.O.K., all right, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I love the defensive picks, the offensive line, the Browns are the real deal, Holyfield. I can't wait to watch them. The Bills and the Chiefs might be better, but who's to say that? The Browns might be better than the Bills going into this season with all those defensive pickups in the draft and free agency. So it might go Chiefs, Browns, Bills. All right, we'll have to kind of wait and see. Packers versus Saints. Will we get Aaron Rodgers versus Jameis Winston? I'm not sure. Broncos and Giants. Dolphins and Patriots. Don't be surprised if the Dolphins get that dub week 1 on the road. I know Flores going against his former mentor, Bill Belichick, will be tough. But don't sleep on the Dolphins. They've really hit on their draft picks, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make an AFC Championship game within the next 3 to 4 years. They're going to make the playoffs. I love the Dolphins and what they've been doing. As long as they don't have serious injuries, they should be able to make some noise. The Giants, the Dolphins, the Chargers. Chiefs Kingdom, Odin's Child in the building. What to do? Then we get Bears versus the Rams. Justin Fields versus Matthew Stafford. Yeah, baby. Sign me up. And then we get the Ravens with the best dual threat in football, Lamar Action Jackson against the Las Vegas Raiders for Monday night. That's just week 1. So your boy's excited, losing his voice already. But like I said, I appreciate every single one of y'all hopping in the room and joining your boy, watching NFL Network. Browns will be legit. Brute Saint. Facts. I think a lot of people, and you got to understand, if they had a better quarterback, they could compete, right, with the Chiefs and the Bills. Like, let's say they had Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. I think that they would have just as good of a chance of getting to a Super Bowl as the Chiefs or the Bills do. It's just I don't really believe in Baker, all right? I don't really believe in Odell. Jarvis Landry's getting a little older, but I love their offensive line. Jedrick Wills Jr., Jack Conklin, Odin Child, bang, $10. My boy, I appreciate you. But I love their offensive line. I like Kevin Stefanski. I like their defense. And that's really where it's at, all right? The defense. That's really where it is at, all right? J.O.K., Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, they really are starting to pick up some nice pieces, and they've had a fantastic draft the last 2 years, just like the Miami Dolphins. So it'll be exciting to see where the Dolphins go, the Browns go, and let's not sleep on the Chargers either. Tough division. All right, but the Chargers should be better than the Broncos and the Raiders. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm from Oregon. I usually go to Eugene and watch Justin Herbert or the Oregon Ducks. Kayvon Thibodeau, front row behind the duck bench. All y'all were skeptical. All y'all clowned. Said Burrow and Tua were so much better than Herbert. Herbert is a top 10 QB right now, right, last season, from what he accomplished. Offensive Rookie of the Year, which you could have co-Offensive Rookie of the Year with Justin Jefferson. You could have went that way, but obviously he deserved to win the award, right, my boy Justin Herbert. But in my opinion, Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league, all right? You got Patrick Mahomes, Dangerous, Russell Wilson, all right? You get Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson if he's playing, and then I would put Jay Herb at number 5. Yeah, there's a lot of other quarterbacks out there, but game in, game out, under pressure, the long ball, the leadership, it's going to be sooner than later that the Chargers make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to be able to make a deep run because they don't have the O-line, the defense, or the coaching just yet. All right, but Anthony Lynn is gone. We'll have to see if the new guy can do his job, but I really, really like the Chargers' potential. Nathan Dotson in the building, Odin's Child in the building, Cash Out in the building. Lego My Ego was good, NWSF. It's been a while, but I'm back now. Let's go, Chiefs Kingdom. In Veach, we trust. Love what the Chiefs did in the offseason. Offensive line, Orlando Brown, all right, and you ended up getting who? Orlando Brown, right, from the Ravens. You got all the right pieces at all the right spots. All right, Lawrence Duvernay Tardif, he's back. All right, he was doing the COVID thing, being a doctor. Right, you got Nijang, you got Niang, you got all the offensive linemen there, and then you got Joe Tooney as well. So you know their offense is going to be lit, but you're going to be able to get some protection. That's going to help the running game. That's going to end up helping the passing game. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Chiefs Buccaneers rematch in the Super Bowl. To me, those are the two best teams. But if someone's going to knock off the Chiefs, all right, Browns and Bills have the best shot as of right now. And then for the Buccaneers, I think the only threat right now is really the Los Angeles Rams, you know, with what they got with Matthew Stafford. And that's big facts. The Browns are nice, man. And look what they did in the draft. It's not necessarily their running game. Look at what they've done on the offensive line the last 2 years. Jack Conklin, Jedrick Wills Jr., right? But look at the defense, because that's what the Browns need, right, to be able to compete with the Chiefs. You got to have lockdown guys. You got to be able to play defense. And the Bills' defense at times is great, but at times it gets a little shaky. Anyone would be shaky against Patrick Mahomes, and that's why the Bills tried to go for pass rushers. You got to get to Mahomes. You got to get to Mahomes if you stand any chance in the AFC, and that's big facts, all right? Primetime games. Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Packers, Rams, Saints, Niners, Steelers, Seahawks, and woo! The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tag them five-time champ. No, I'm not Booker T. 5 primetime games. Call me Vince McMahon, baby. You're fired. Let's go, baby. And I'm excited for Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Josh Allen versus Brady. I'm excited for Cam or Mac Jones versus Tom Brady. Patriots, Bucks. The energy is going to be super lit. Tom playing his former coach and former team. Get out of here. Bills, Josh Allen, all right, going against Tom Brady. Going to be super exciting. There's so many exciting, intriguing matchups this season, man. I can't wait. And obviously, Shiv, you know, it might be a Panther guy or a Cam guy. You know, and like I said, you know, certain guys that you rooted for, right? You're gonna back them. You're gonna defend them. That's what people do. You know what I mean? It all depends on if Cam is healthy, right? And with the weapons they brought in, they could play pretty good. They could make the playoffs. They could win the division. It's possible. All right. But from what we saw last year, we kind of think that realistically, he might not be that great, but he didn't really have any weapons last season. Now you got Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. So you just got you got the Chargers, tight end. Boom. You ended up getting the Titans tight end, double tight end set, like when they were the Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. All right. Aguilar. So you got some pretty good weapons now. Wide receiving core is a little thin. You still got N'Keal Harry waiting to break out. All right. Offensive line, no more Joe Tooney. So he went to the Chiefs. So I still think they have holes. The defense, it all depends on the coaching and Belichick and Josh McDaniels. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mac Jones gets a chance at some point. But it is possible that Cam could get that team 10 or 11 wins. Beyond 11, I doubt it. All right, but maybe 9, 10, 11, maybe. Depending on how they play against the rest of the division, Miami, Buffalo, and the Jets. And that's big facts. So, I was in the live stream earlier talking with some of them Browns fans. It's going to be a good home opener. Oh, yeah. And the Browns, they could steal that game if they were at home. But with the Chiefs being at home, as great as I love Cleveland, I'm all on board because you know me. I'm a defensive guy first. Linebacker guy, edge guy, D tackle, safety, corner, and then offensive line. Most of y'all are quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. You guys are like the glorified offensive weapons. I'm opposite. I'm defense and offensive line. That makes me a little bit different. I got no bias. I'm going to call it right down the middle, all right? But the Browns have a lot on their plate. But if they can get to Patrick Mahomes and make him a little nervous out there, right? Just like the Buccaneers did in the Super Bowl, the game might be a little bit closer. But remember, Joe Tooney, Orlando Brown, Niang, all right, Lawrence, Duvernay, Tardif, all these guys, they got a nice revamped offensive line. So it's going to be tough. But if anyone is going to be able to get to them, it's the Cleveland Browns. That might be the biggest threat to kind of slow down Kansas City. Because Buffalo doesn't really have the same kind of pass rushers, in my opinion, as Cleveland does. So we're just going to have to see where it goes. So Nathan says, Cam sucks, and it ain't the weapons, it's him. He's never been a good passer. On top of that, he's old now. New England is not dangerous anymore. Mac Jones, finna going to take that guy. Newton is done. We'll see, Nathan. I'm not really a big believer on Cam, and we don't know what Mac can do. I mean, it's too early to say. But we're going to have to wait and see. But don't be surprised, if New England squeaks in. I don't know how far they can go. I don't think they have. I wouldn't put them as a top 4 team in the AFC. I still think there will be other teams that possibly could be better. Pittsburgh, Baltimore. There'll be a couple others, maybe the Colts, Titans, even though the Titans defense, they did get Bud Dupree, so that's going to help. But I probably would say at this point, New England would probably be like the 7th best team in the AFC. I still think there would be probably at least 6 teams that I would take over New England at this point. But AFC's got a lot going for it. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, if he goes to the Broncos, that could steal another spot. Josh Allen, Herbert, Mahomes. I mean, right there, Mahomes, Herbert, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, right? That's like 4 of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, my guy. 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. Cash out. I understand, right? I don't like Baker. Right? But you can win football games without your quarterback being Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. You could be like a Brad Johnson, like for the Buccaneers back in Super Bowl 37, a Rich Gannon. You can kind of be a journeyman kind of guy. You can be like a top 15 quarterback. You don't have to be top 5. Jimmy Garoppolo got them to a Super Bowl. You might not be able to win the Super Bowl with Baker, but you can maybe get there. You know what I'm saying? Because the running game, who's better at the running game right now than Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt as far as a 1-2 punch? That's got to be probably the best 1-2 punch right now, all right? And then you go look at the wide receivers, Odell, Jarvis Landry, and what they have there. But the offensive line, Jedrick Wills Jr., all right? You're looking at Jack Conklin. They're addressing the O-line, got a new coach with Kevin Stefanski, all right? And then on the defense, right? They really got J.O.K. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame, who should have been a first-rounder. You got, Jadeveon Clowney, even though he's older, like J.J. Watt, but he can help with Myles Garrett get to the quarterback. They've just made some fantastic moves, the Cleveland Browns have, so it's all about the defense. And Baker doesn't need to force it. He can just hand the ball off to Kareem Hunt, 10 to 15 times a game, hand the ball off to Nick Chubb 10 to 15 times a game. Right? I don't like Odell. I don't like Jarvis, right? And I don't like Baker. But still, with that being said, their defense and O-line and coaching is top-notch. They're up there, all right, as far as the other AFC teams are concerned. They might not be on the Kansas City level, all right? They might not be on the Kansas City level, but Baker doesn't need to force it like he did before when he had bad coaching, all right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a big Baker guy, but they could still make an AFC championship game with Baker, and Baker is probably, out of all the quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion, probably somewhere between 14 and 20. So it's not like I think he's a good quarterback. You know, he's definitely average. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo or Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins, they're all kind of in the same kind of boat, like in the middle, right? Some games they look good, some games they look bad, right? But if you got a good offensive line, a good running game, and a good defense, that's going to make Baker's job a lot easier. And like I said, Josh Allen, I like a lot more, right, than Baker Mayfield, but they don't got a running game. All right, offensive line is shaky at times. No running game. Yeah, they got Stephon Diggs, all right, but what happens if you shut him down? You're kind of one-dimensional. You know, you can put 9 in the box, and then the Bills will get beat. You know, and they can get beat single-handedly. And then the defense, they got some players there. The defense is well coached. You got Sean McDermott. You know, you got it there, all right, but the Browns overall have probably a better roster top to bottom than the Bills do. The Bills still could get to the AFC Championship game, and so could the Browns. But if it ends up being Browns or Bills going against the Chiefs, do we really think either one is going to beat that team, especially if it's in Kansas City? No, it's not happening. You know, Kansas City, you know, the only way that they don't make it to the Super Bowl again, just like Tampa Bay, injuries. You know, injuries, and it doesn't have to be with necessarily Tom Brady or Mahomes. Injuries is the only thing that's going to hold those teams back from winning, you know, the AFC and the NFC, in my opinion. Those are by far the two best. And there's a little bit of a gap from the Chiefs, Browns, Bills, Tampa, and then the Rams. They're right there, especially if Matthew Stafford plays well. So, you know, and there's I mean, you got to look at some of the other running back cores that you got, you know, in the league too. But Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I mean, Kareem Hunt, we saw what he did with Kansas City in his rookie year. I mean, they probably wish they still had him, even though they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, make him stare Helaire, all right? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But, you know, they didn't really hand the ball off to him as much as they should have. You know, they kind of went from a spread offense and RPO, and they kind of mixed it up. If they would have given him bell cow reps, then it could have been a little bit different. But, you know, that offensive line, you know, definitely was the bugaboo. And it shows you that they knew that they don't want to get embarrassed like that again. You know, so if Tampa Bay plays the Chiefs, you know, I could definitely see the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Even as great as Tampa is, as much as I love my team, right? You know, it's going to be one of those things. If you can protect Mahomes and give him time, just like my offensive line protects Brady, right? Brady doesn't need to run around, you know, with his head cut off and run RPOs. You know what I mean? He's already proven that, you know, he can, if he has enough time, he can go through his first progression, second progression, third progression. And if you look at my weapons, I mean, I got the most depth in the NFL at wide receiver, running back, you know, tight ends. You know, when you have 3 quality tight ends, 5 quality wide receivers, you know what I mean? Running backs, 3, 4, 5 of them, you know, it's going to be one of those things that'll be very hard to stop, especially with a defensive line as good as mine. Levante David, Devin White. My secondary is one of the top 10 secondaries, young and up and coming. They're going to be after it. The Gravediggers is what we call them. And then offensive line. A lot of y'all thought my O-line and my secondary were the weaknesses of Tampa Bay. But as we went further along into the playoff push and in December, the secondary and the offensive line were the strengths of the team. And that's really what helped me win the playoffs as well as the Super Bowl. And that's big facts. Rodgers, we don't know. You know, obviously getting Jordan Love and Kuta Koots, all right. And, you know, as a GM, you know, disrespected Aaron. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's going to be there, but he could go to the Broncos. He could go to the Raiders, the Saints, Miami. I mean, there's going to be a lot of, you know, capital, you know, invested depending on where he goes. But I'm not too sure. But this could be the last, you know, season that we have Aaron Rodgers, you know, playing on the Green Bay Packers. But what I will tell you, if Green Bay decides to move on from Aaron Rodgers because, right, they can't get along, they can't work out the money, they're not going to the Saints. He's not going to the Eagles. All right, he's going to go to an AFC team because there's no way Green Bay being the third best team in the NFL, right, on the NFC side, Tampa Bay, Rams with Stafford, right, and Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers as of right now, right? You're not going to trade Aaron Rodgers and be the third best team in the NFC to the Saints, which would leapfrog Green Bay, and they would be right there with the Rams and Tampa, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to trade them in the NFC. You would trade them to Denver or the Raiders, so that way you wouldn't have to see that opponent and you wouldn't have to have that payback, and have to see that team, play Aaron Rodgers. Because the last thing you want is Aaron Rodgers to go to the Saints or Aaron Rodgers to go, somewhere in the NFC and play Green Bay and humiliate them. You know what I'm saying? So if he goes, realistically, I think Denver would be the most realistic spot because they have the money, they have the cap room, right? They're going to be a bad team, so they're going to be able to give you first-round draft picks that could be high in the draft. If you go to the Saints are probably going to be a 500 or above team. So why would you do that? You want to be able to get a top 10 draft pick, not a top 25. You know what I mean? If you're the Saints, you're probably going to just barely miss the playoffs or probably get a wild card. This season, you're probably, somewhere between that 8, 9, 10 win range, depending on if Jameis can throw for 20 picks or less, right? If he throws more than that, then you're in trouble. Then you might go under 500, depending on the record. But we have an extra game, so 10-7. We'll have to kind of see where it goes because it used to be 10-6, but now 10-7 is kind of that borderline right now. But yeah, Rodgers is not going to NFC team. I'd be shocked. They're going to boot him over to the AFC, and that's where he'll go. And then, John Elway, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. But even if Rodgers goes to Denver, that doesn't mean that they're going to be a playoff team automatically. Of course, when you have Rodgers, you would assume they would be, right? But you got the Chargers, you got the Chiefs, and all those teams. But if they got, Rodgers in Denver, right, running game, wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, offensive line a little shaky, even though they've been drafting there. Defense, Von Miller's getting a little older. Bradley Chubb would probably be gone if they got Aaron Rodgers. So I wouldn't really see them being a Super Bowl favorite if Rodgers went to the Broncos. You can make the playoffs as a wild card underneath the Chiefs. But, yeah, Nola, you're not going 14-3. You're smoking that crack cocaine if you really think. Even Tampa Bay, being the best team in football right now, is not going 14-3. There's going to be a lot of parity in the league, road games, London games, tough, 3-game road trips. It's not going to be, one of those things where you're going to. The number one team in the NFL may not even be at 14 wins. And that could be the Chiefs or Tampa Bay. Those two teams probably have the best shot, based off Vegas and the line. The Chiefs probably have the best shot to get 13 to 14 wins. And then Tampa, and then you got the Rams. They'll be there. The Bills, the Browns. So that's my personal feeling. I don't see a team going undefeated, or even losing one game. I would say the best record in the NFL this season, if we're saying everything goes right, will probably be 2 losses, right? And that would probably be the Chiefs. So, Nola, but you have to understand football, my guy. You know what I mean? You just lost a Hall of Fame QB in Drew Brees, what that means for leadership in the locker room. You think really people believe in Jameis Winston as much as Drew? No. You got AK-41, but you can't win a 12, 13 games with just your running back. You got Michael Thomas, but we don't know if he can stay healthy, right? You don't have Jared Cook. You don't have Emmanuel Sanders, right? The defense, you don't have no more T-Rex. So you have some pieces, no more Jenkins. You can't win games, Nola, right, with 5 guys. Yeah, you got Michael Thomas, right? You can't guard Mike. Yeah, you got AK-41, my favorite running back in the league, right? But you never see teams that have 5 good guys on offense or 5 on defense, and they make a deep run in the playoffs. You got to have 8, 9 guys on offense, 8, 9 guys on defense. Yeah, but you need more than that. You need more than Demario Davis. You need more. You need depth. Look at my team. 3 tight ends, 5 wide receivers, right? 4 running backs. You know what I mean? You got to have defensive depth on secondary, on the D-line. You have good players, right? But, yeah, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Lattimore, AK-41, Michael Thomas. Who else? Who else? See, you can't win games. See, that's the difference between me and you, Nola, all right? Yeah, you got some names, but what about all those other areas that you need to fill? What about all those other guys that you need to replace? T-Rex, Jenkins on the back end, all right? Just because you guys, drafted the guys that you did, you don't know if those guys are going to pan out either, all right? But when you're looking at the team in general, you're just biased because you're a New Orleans fan. You're an New Orleans Saints fan, right? But let's be honest. Jameis Winston at your quarterback doesn't give you the same satisfaction as if Drew Brees was back. If Drew Brees was back this season, right? If he was back this season, you would be thinking a lot more confidently of your team. Yeah, you can't just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. You literally need to have out of 11 on 11. So for math, Nola, I know you haven't been to school in a while. 11 plus 11, 11 on the offense and 11 on the defense equals 22. okay? Not 5, all right? Not 8. All right, so out of 22 guys, for you to be successful in the NFL, all right, you got to have 8 or 9 guys on offense and 8 or 9 guys on defense. You only can have 1 or 2 weak spots, and you better pray those weak spots are at least average or above average, because as we know, this is the biggest team game. It's not 5-on-5 NBA. It's not baseball where it's a lot of one-on-one. When you hike the football, the other 10 guys have to be moving in sync together. And if one guy doesn't block and one guy doesn't do his assignment or job, what happens? It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? It's half on sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. That's what happens. Or you get an interception or you get a turnover. You can't just have a few. You got to have more depth. And that's why people say Tampa Bay, the Rams, all right, Green Bay, if Rodgers is there, the Browns, the Bills, the Chiefs, because you have depth all around. No one thinks as a Saints fan that you're going to go to the Super Bowl with Jameis Winston. So, I mean, well, you want to say you're going to figure it out, but you know what I mean? You're going to be lying to yourself and every other Saints fan like Brute Saint, you know what I mean? You don't have depth, and that's why you're not going to probably go to the Super Bowl. You can still like your team. All right, I'm not shitting on you or on your team, but there's a difference between this Saints team this year and what you guys had in the previous 4 years when you guys were a top 5 team in the NFL and you did have a little bit of depth, all right? But once you lose that depth and you lose that leader, you're kind of rebuilding. You're not the same team. You can still make the playoffs as a wild card, but do you want to? It would actually be better for you guys to have a shit season, win like 5 to 8 games, get a top 10 pick, right? Get a first-round quarterback, groom him, right? And then maybe you get the next Drew Brees-ish kind of guy instead of Jameis or Taysom Hill, and then you can have maybe 5 or 10 years of great success. But if you're going to be hovering around 500, right? If you're going to be hovering around 500, right? You're not going to be able to get that superstar quarterback unless you trade up, which you guys could do. And you guys are still in cap hell. But Brute Saint, you know what I'm saying, though. Nola doesn't know all the aspects about football. You know, yeah, you got superstar guys, Michael Thomas, AK-41, you know, Cam Jordan, you know, Lattimore, right? Demario Davis, a.k.a. the Glue. I love those guys. I would take those guys on Tampa in a heartbeat. I love those players. You know, and you're never going to hear a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan say that. That they love those players and would want those players on my team. I would take those guys. But you don't have depth. If one of those guys goes down with an injury, Demario Davis goes out, who's going in? You're fucked, right? Cam Jordan goes down, who's coming in? You're fucked. Sheldon Rankins is not there anymore. T-Rex is gone, right? Michael Thomas goes down, you're fucked. AK-41 goes down, you're fucked. I mean, that's just the bottom line because O-Dog said so. The thing is, if you think Sean Payton is better than B.A., you know, the quarterback whisperer, you know what I mean? Payton's a good coach, right? And you can make the playoffs with Jameis, but we got to really see it. You know what I mean? And you don't have the depth right now. So, and that's really the biggest thing that's going to kill you. You still got AK, you still got Thomas, you still got coaching, right? Exactly. And this ain't basketball. This ain't where you can be LeBron or KD or Steph Curry and you can carry a team. And even when you have Steph Curry, one of the best shooters of all time, sometimes that's not enough. You know, you got to have that Klay Thompson, that Draymond Green, that KD. You got to be able to have more than just one dominant pitcher in baseball, you know, or one dominant player in basketball. NFL is different. You got to have studs on your starting lineup, studs on your defense, good coaching, good OCs, good GM, good owner, good kicking game, good punter, and you got to have depth. So if those guys get fucking hurt, that you can bring someone in that actually is pretty good, you know, instead of having a huge drop-off. You know what I mean? And that's a really tough thing to do in this league. So, and that's really where it comes down to. Teams that have depth are the teams that are going to really end up dominating. I mean, how many teams have 3 quality tight ends? Not many, right? Tampa Bay is one of them. How many teams have 5 quality wide receivers? Not a lot. You know what I'm saying? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, AB. You know, you got Tyler Johnson, who's up and coming. And then you end up getting a guy like Scotty Tuhati, Scotty Miller. So, you know what I mean? Brady makes everybody better. But like you said, when you saw the Eagles make their run a couple years ago when they had the 4 horsemen at running back, you know, you got to be able to have depth at the key positions to really be able to make a deep run. You know, because even though O.J. Howard got hurt for me earlier, I still had Cameron Brate. I still had Gronk. But all 3 of those guys could start on almost any team in the NFL. And that's facts. 2021 NFL schedule release. Looks like my voice is starting to come back. That's good. A live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. And the thing is, you can't be fake, Nola. Because when Jameis was on my team, how often did Saints fans and everyone across the league talk shit about Jameis? It was deserved. He sucked. He wasn't good, right? And I essentially had almost the same team. Brady comes in, right? And I drafted well on the offensive line. Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield Jr. on the back end, got Devin White, right? And then you ended up turning the team around with a team that had talent, but they had a horrible leader and a guy that was turnover prone. So you can't say how horrible Jameis is and then, oh, Sean Payton's going to make him better. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here. He had LASIK, but you can't be confident in a Jameis Winston. I mean, imagine if you had, Kirk Cousins, or if you had a Ryan Tannehill. You'd feel a lot better about that type of quarterback than a guy that gets in trouble off the field, that's a bum, all right? That is not someone that's down for his team. It's about me. I'm Jameis Winston. I'm the man at Florida State. I can play MLB as a pitcher. I'm the guy on Tampa Bay. I'm the first pick in the draft. It's always been Jameis over the team, okay? So I don't think anyone's going to want him. And if he fails on the Saints, do you think he's going to get a starting job anywhere else? Fuck no. He's going to be on the bench. Mariota and all these other guys, they're never going to get a starting job ever again, because he's not a good guy. You got to have a guy that's a good guy on and off the field, not someone that's going to be a distraction, all right, or getting in trouble off the field, groping people when he goes get a burrito from an Uber Eats driver, or or jumping on tables at Florida State, say fuck her in the pussy. You got to be smarter, more mature. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, they want to say, oh, how bad Jameis is now. Jameis is on the Saints. Oh, Jameis Winston's going to be great. Let's be real about it right now. You hope Jameis is going to be good, but no one really believes in Jameis besides maybe Saints fans, because they're hoping that he ends up doing something well. So, well, he's not going to retire. I mean, you can still throw for 4,000 or 5,000 yards, but if you turn the football over by interceptions and fumbles, that's not a good look. You're not going to win football games. You're going to be a backup. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you what, right now, Saints fans, he's not the one. Taysom Hill, he's not the one. You got to be able to draft a guy or get that next Drew Brees-ish. Better than an Aaron Brooks that you guys had way back in the day. You need to be able to get somebody that can lead the team, that's not going to get in trouble, right? That's going to be able to do the Sean Payton offense, right? But literally, just someone that is a baller, a guy, all right? Someone that can do it. Ian Book ain't good enough either. Come on, man. Stop it, Nola. Don't try to act like you know football, Nola. Come on, man. Ian Book is not the guy. You need better. Kirk Cousins, right? Ryan Tannehill. You need a talent better like that. You need like a top 15 talent. I'm not even a big Jimmy Garoppolo guy, but even Jimmy Garoppolo might be better than Jameis Winston if he doesn't turn the ball over. But his problem is he turns the football over too, with some kind of key bad interceptions. But Kirk Cousins would be good. Ryan Tannehill would be good. You know what I mean? Once you get a guy like that, then you can really start competing again. But until you start getting more depth on the offensive line, defense, wide receiving core, we'll have to kind of wait and see. Exactly. I'm telling you, if you guys have a bad season, that wouldn't be the end of the world. One bad season, take one step backwards, right? And then you go 10 steps forward, right? Rodgers ain't coming, bro. Why? So you think you can just come in and beat Tampa Bay? Even if A-Rod comes to Saints, there's no guarantee you're going to beat my team with the depth that I have and the coaching that I have and the rapport that I have. A-Rod is good. Don't get me wrong. He's Hall of Fame. But if you add A-Rod to your team, that doesn't make you Super Bowl winner just like that. All right? You still need depth at wide receiver. All right? He does make players better, but A-Rod's just coming in. You got to think who you would have to give up to get Aaron Rodgers. You probably would have to give up Cameron Jordan, Demario Davis. There goes your defense. Marshawn Lattimore, AK-41. You're not going to just get A-Rod for nothing. You're going to have to trade some guys away and give them all your first rounders. And he's getting a little older. So, he ain't coming, bro. You know what I mean? He ain't coming there. They're not going to trade him to the NFC South. They're going to trade him to the AFC. Like a Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, another guy complaining about the O-line. It's kind of funny. They had the Legion of Boom. And then, they decided not to go offensive line. It's like Schneider and Pete Carroll, what the fuck are you doing? Don't you realize that you're never going to get anywhere if you don't draft offensive line? But I guess they think that they know what they're doing. They should have had 2 Super Bowls. They beat the Broncos handily with the Legion of Boom. Should have won that game when they should have handed off to Marshawn Lynch. But I was talking about this today with a coworker at work. If they would have got that play to work and Malcolm Brown did not step in front of that football, Pete Carroll would be labeled a genius, right? A genius for not handing it off to Marshawn Lynch and doing the opposite, right? So it's all kind of a catch-22. It didn't work, but if it did, Pete Carroll would be 2 for 2, and he would be looked at more as a, not football god, but he would be looked at differently. Sherman, you don't want him either. He's too old. You could use him for leadership in your locker room, but do you understand that you guys have no money? Nola, you talk about the Saints so much, right? But you got to do your research, my guy. Be like Brute Saint. You got to actually know what your cap situation is, who's on your team, who's going to be up for contract next year. You got to know more than just what you see on Instagram, all right? You got to be able to go through everything. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be like, oh, I want A-Raj. Yeah, I want Patrick Mahomes. You know, I want Tyreek the Freak Hill. You know, I want all these guys like a Christmas list, but it ain't going to happen, all right? You need more money, though, and that's why Marshawn Lattimore might not be there. There's a lot of guys that are going to be statistical casualties, cap casualties, because you're not going to be able to afford everybody. It's facts. You know what I mean? You might be able to, reorganize some contracts, all right? But bottom line, if you look at your team compared to all the other teams in the league and where your money is right now, you can reconfigure some, all right? But you're not in a good situation moving forward, all right? You're going to have to be able to let some guys go, and then you're going to have to be able to hopefully hit on draft picks, and there's no guarantee that you're going to hit on any of the guys that you picked this year. I'm hoping you guys do, so you guys can be competitive. Nola, you don't know football, my guy. You don't know how much money he's making. You don't know how many years left are on the contract. Yeah. Tyron Crafton, let him know. Cash out. See, there's certain people that know football, all right? And I know you know some, Nola, but you don't know. You're playing checkers. I'm playing chess, all right? All I do is watch film, and I read 6, 7, 8 hours a day, okay? All right? All the teams. So I know what's going on. You know what I mean? You just can't talk blindly like you know everything that's going on. I mean, I probably know more about the Saints than you do, and that's your team. And that's facts. So all I know is I want Ramczyk before everyone else. His contract is up. Exactly. That's the number one guy on the team, not named AK-41, Ryan Ramczyk. You want guys like that are the anchor to the line, one of the best offensive linemen in the league, not just on the Saints, not just in the NFC South, not just in the NFC, in the league, all right? Offensive line is very important. Ramczyk more important than Lattimore. You know what I mean? He is very, very important. You don't want to lose the anchor to your line. That's facts. But it's exciting to see where we're going to go. Got to have a smart GM that knows how to restructure and move contracts. Exactly. Who's going to get a signing bonus? Who's going to be able to restructure guaranteed money or non-guaranteed money? It all depends on where you're going to go. See, and the thing is Brute Saint, I can respect the hell out of you because even though I know you're a hardcore Saints fan, right? I'm a Bucks fan, but I do call it right down the middle. And sometimes people can't understand that. You know what I mean? It seems like maybe you think I'm talking shit, right? But I just call it and say things that other people are afraid to say. I've always called it right down the middle, and I've always given credit to even the rivals in the division, which no one else will do on social media, TV, podcasts, YouTube. I really give credit where credit's due. You know what I mean? But you got to do your research, before you start spouting off, Nola. You got to know all the logistics. You got to know where your team stands. And guarantee there's going to be a lot of guys that you're going to lose. Due to free agency, due to money, doing contracts being up, and other teams offering more money. I don't think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Jameis Winston's on the Saints. I want to go there. People are trying to ring chase right now. They want to go to Tampa. They want to go to the Chiefs. The Browns and the Bills look interesting. The Rams. No one is saying right now, oh, shit, as soon as my contract is up, I'm going to go play with Jameis Winston. No one's saying that. I mean, yeah, you got AK-41, right? Yeah, you got Michael Thomas, Ramczyk, offensive line is great. Sean Payton is great. Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Lattimore, great, right? But not a lot of people are saying, hey, I want to play with Jameis. No one's saying that. We got to be able to see what's going on. Brute saying, you know it, baby. 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. On the roster, we already know about Trask, being maybe possibly Brady's protege. Oh, of course, man, there's a lot of QBs. Florida's QB, and there's a lot of guys that I've actually started watching a little bit of tape on 2022 first-round draft. I'm watching guys like Thibodeau on Oregon. He could go number 1 to the Texans. He's going to be fantastic. Von Miller-ish kind of player. The Florida's QB is nice. There's a lot of guys that I've been researching. Spencer Rattler looks pretty. There's a lot of guys that are out there, that are in college football that look interesting, even though we're quite a ways away, but I'm going to be looking at a lot of guys in the Pac-12, the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC. I don't think the quarterback class next year is going to be anywhere near this year. It's not going to be Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. I don't see a lot of that talent, but oh boy, from Florida, the brother from Florida, looks like he's got a lot of potential. And there's a few other guys that I've been kind of keeping my eye on. I'm always looking ahead, watching college film, looking at the rosters, looking at those 5-star, 6-star guys. Archie Manning, looking at, Peyton and Eli's, protege, adding to the Manning legacy. Give him a couple years once he goes to college. He's going to be the next big thing, all right? You got Archie Manning, right? You got Peyton Manning. All right, you got Eli Manning, and now you got the young Manning, the new. You start looking at him, that's going to be exciting. That's going to be must-see TV when the new Manning comes along, the young buck, all right? It's going to be incredible. They're going to probably be showing his games in high school, college, all the way up to being the number 1 pick, and that's facts. Yeah, the thing is, though, is if Jameis Winston balls out, that's not good for you. All right, because the thing is, if that ends up happening, that's going to take away from a future draft pick or another free agent you can get. Because, long-term, Winston is not the answer. Saints fans will tell you, even if you guys make the playoffs with Winston this year, I don't think people will feel confident long-term as Jameis being the guy. So, he could still have a pretty good season. But if I'm the Saints, I'm looking for more of that Drew Brees leadership, not someone that throws picks, fumbles the football, right, and has leadership issues, right, tries to eat W's. Anyone that tries to eat W's is a fucking moron, all right? You know what I mean? You need somebody better, and that's facts. Cash out. We got Brown coming back, the brother. So he's the same one that, played with us at the end of the season. Tyler Shuck. Right? He transferred. I think they're like Texas Tech. So Oregon's looking pretty good. We should win the Pac-12. And like I said, it's going to be a fun year. I'll be live streaming Ducks games as well. But there's going to be a lot of QBs kind of going to be on the up and up. But Florida's QB is definitely one to keep an eye on, the brother there. And I have some highlights and some other film and articles that I need to read because that's usually what I do when I'm not live streaming. I'm usually all about that. Panthers are going to be good, Nola. Your team was the team, right, for the last 4 or 5 years. But the Bucks, we own the division now, right? The Panthers are coming. So you can say you're not worried about them, but I think the Panthers could be a sleeper team that could make the playoffs. And if it's not this year, the following year, they have a pretty good roster. They've been making J.C. Horn stud, all right? Run CMC when healthy, stud, all right? They got good pieces there. Don't be surprised. If they end up beating you guys, and if they do beat you guys and you guys get third in the division, it might not be the worst thing. Take 1 step back to go 10 steps forward. Get that future QB to run the squad. Adventures with AG in the building. Could be the Rams here. Tampa Bay and the Rams. That's the only team that I could really see beating Tampa Bay is Stafford and Aaron Donald and the Rams. That's facts. I'm always looking at small colleges too for hidden talent. Facts. Shiv, let him know. Let him know, Shiv. Cash out. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I mean? You got to look at, as Emory, there's a lot of guys that I'm always, trying to pay attention to. Kyle Pitts, Jalen Ramsey. Oh, man, I can't wait. But, yeah, I've already started peeking ahead and looking at the draft for next year. And I know a lot of people don't do that. Reddick, yeah. I mean, it all depends on scheme and fit. Sometimes the team that you're originally on, it doesn't work out. But J.C. Horn is a dog, right? And that's why I knew, when I called that, I got 13 of the first 15 picks right. And one of the first ones that I got wrong was Penei Sewell not going right to the Bengals, which they should have picked him, and they went Jamar Chase. So I could have went 14 for 15. I don't know if there's anyone that I've seen on, podcast, TV, or anyone else that did that well within the first 15 picks. After it goes past 15, it's kind of a crapshoot. You know what I mean? But I got the J.C. Horn pick right. I got the Trey Lance pick right. Getting 13 out of 15, essentially 14 out of the first 15. Not a lot of people I feel that could be on that same kind of level. But Shiv, I agree. You guys have made a lot of great moves, and we're going to be able to see. Falcons, they'll be the worst team in the NFC South. They'll be a little bit better with Kyle Pitts, right? But Matt Ryan's getting older. Julio's a dog. Pitts is amazing. Calvin Ridley, one of the more underrated wide receivers. He's a dog. He's a beast. But their defense has a lot of holes. Offensive line has a lot of holes. Coaching, not that good. So you'll be able to beat them. That's the worst team. Everyone should beat up on the Falcons, but even the Falcons should be a little bit better with Kyle Pitts. He'll have some Sports Center moves, Sports Center highlights. You know what I mean? But pretty soon Julio will be gone. Matt Ryan, they're going to have to move on from him, and that's facts. You can't be great forever. You know what I mean? You have usually a window that's like 4 to 5 years. Seahawks, Legion of Boom, right? Kaepernick, when they had Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, they had about 4 or 5 years of great football. And then you got to rebuild. The Saints had their 4 to 5 years. Now you're in rebuilding mode. You know what I'm saying? You are in rebuilding mode, whether you want to admit it or not. And even in rebuilding mode, you can still make the playoffs. But if you want long-term success, having a shitty year is essential for the Saints this year. So that way you can get a stud at quarterback in the draft next year, or someone in free agency. And then you guys can get back to that Drew Brees era. But if you have Jameis Winston and you're floating around 500 for the next couple years, unless you trade some of your players away or, you can trade up in the draft, you're never going to be able to get that next franchise Drew Brees-ish kind of guy. You might be able to get someone in free agency, but... Oh, defense, yeah. But you couldn't pass on Kyle Pitts, Tyron. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're sitting at 4, you could have traded back. But if you know Julio's probably going to be gone due to being a cap casualty and you can't afford him, June 1st rolls around, he's gone. Now at least you have Ridley and Pitts with Matt Ryan. So you had to pick him because Julio's not going to be there, more than likely. Julio's going to be going somewhere else. Maybe the Eagles, maybe somewhere else. So.
How about the AFC, Cynthia? Where's your head and your model at for the postseason there? Well, ahead of the schedule being released, it was still the Chiefs on top, but they had the most win total in the entire.
I don't think it's a full guarantee cash out, but that was the year that the Saints could have won the Super Bowl. So with the Bucks, when Brady gone, you cool with y'all quarterback or no? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I got Kyle Trask. He threw to Kyle Pitts. I watched his whole career at Florida. He's a second rounder, right? But I mean, is he Andy Dalton? Or could he be better? If you have a supporting cast with offensive line, defense, good coaching, he's not going to be Brady. No one's going to be Brady, right? So I could be decent, but, unless you get a guy, a top 10 QB, you might not be able to keep up with the rest of the teams in the league. So I think that he could be a guy that could step in down the road, but he might not even get a chance. Brady might play till he's 50. You know what I mean? Like, literally, if Brady keeps winning and he can still throw the football, we're going to let him play. So, I mean, he's like, 43? So it seems crazy for him to play for another 6 or 7 years. But let's just say, for example, we win this year, we go back to back. We win next year after that, and we go back to back to back. Not going to probably happen. Or if we win this year and lose the following year, and we win 2 Super Bowls, but he's still a top 15 quarterback, you know what I'm saying? You can still have, Kyle Trask there, but realistically, you're probably going to bring a free agent in to compete with Trask, because we're going to need a name like you guys are. The Saints need someone. I need like a Ryan Tannehill or a Kirk Cousins. I would rather have that type of quarterback than Trask. But if Trask is underneath Brady and Bruce Arians and he sits for 2 or 3 years and I still have a good supporting cast, maybe he can overachieve and be a top 20 quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a guy where he'll be a top 10 quarterback. even sitting behind Brady. I mean, there's a reason why, there was 5 or 6 quarterbacks that went ahead of him. You know what I mean? So you need somebody better. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Brady goes, you're going to have to rebuild a little bit because we don't even know if Godwin's going to be there. He might be gone after next year. You know what I mean? You're just going to have to retool and rebuild. But you got to have depth in the NFL to compete. You know what I mean? And if you can't get a Brady or a Breeze or a Rodgers or a Russell Wilson, you got to go for the next best thing. If you can't get a Deshaun Watson either, he might not even be playing with his legal issues. But a Justin Herbert, a Joe Burrow, that next tier of talent, you're going to need someone like that. Shiv, y'all remember when people said we was gonna get Mac Jones? I knew you guys were never going to get Mac Jones. I don't know what rumor you heard that. I knew he was going to be either on the Niners or the Patriots. You guys have no interest in a Mac Jones. That wouldn't even fit your guys' team. You know what I mean? Not a good fit. That's what I mean. How do you think I was able to pick, 13 out of the first 15 draft picks? You know what I mean? I think like the GM and the coaches, it wasn't just by fucking luck. Because a lot of people thought Mac Jones at 3, and I said Trey Lance. I didn't really hear a lot of people thinking J.C. Horn was going to go to the Panthers. I picked that. Not very many people did. So you got to find fit. J.C. Horn was a dog. Patrick Surtain could have been there, but J.C. Horn got more swag. And certain teams, you got to have that swagger to match the team and what they're trying to show on the field. So that's why I knew that they were going to go for J.C. Horn because he just has more swag than Patrick Surtain. Surtain's great. Right, he went to Bama, but J.C. Horn's a dog. You know what I mean? He has a chance to be a top 10 corner, and that's big facts. Once Brady leaves, Gronk is gone also. Yeah, of course. Gronk ain't going to want to play with anyone else, and don't be surprised if Julian Edelman comes out of retirement and he adds another piece to Tampa Bay's roster, because I could see that happening too. What do I think about Wentz going to do next season? I'm hoping he has a fantastic season. I think that they can win the AFC South, but their wide receiving core is thin. T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman Jr., you know what I mean? They address some of the needs, at the tight end wide receiver position, but offensive line, is great. You got to think Carson Wentz got sacked like 50 times, which was number 1, right, with the Eagles, right? And then obviously getting almost the least sacked, quarterback, Phillip Rivers. You're getting very minimal sacks, less than 10. Probably less than 5, for the most part. You're going to be in that 5 to 10 sack range given up by that O-line, all right? So I think Carson Wentz, as long as he can, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, he can hand the ball off effectively, right? It all depends if he can throw, and he can make good decisions on third down. The defense is good, right? Kwity Paye's there now too. DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard. I love their defense. I love their coaching staff, right? But they need better wide receivers. So until you get him in the next draft or in the next free agency period, this year they could win the division. But for Wentz really to take off, you're going to need that Devontae Smith player. You're going to need the T.Y. Hilton replacement. You're going to need that Jamar Chase kind of player for Carson Wentz. So, T.Y. is getting older now too. So once they get some good wide receivers, then Wentz will really take off, I think, and it'll be less pressure, a brand new start. But I would not be shocked if the Colts and Wentz win the AFC South. Are they going to be better than the Browns, the Bills, or the Chiefs? No. But they could be the 4th best team in the AFC. Facts. Even though Miami and the Chargers and a few other teams are coming. But that's my personal opinion. I don't think that he's mentally broken. Mental issues can be fixed rather than physical. Cam Newton, it's more physical. Carson Wentz, mental. Brand new place, right? He can go with, obviously people that he's familiar with Coach Reich. So I think that he is more fixable than people think. And that's facts. Yeah, Horn is a beast. Don't be surprised. Michael Thomas is a beast, but again, he got hurt. So, he was number 1 a couple years ago, but we don't even know if Michael Thomas is top 5 wide receiver anymore. He probably is still top 10, just based off his body size and his talent, but there's no more Drew Brees. There's no more Drew Brees throwing to him in that perfect spot. So, you got Jameis Winston there. You got to take that in consideration. Just because you're a dog, right? Like, AK-41 can get the ball because you can just hand it off to him. But there's no guarantee Michael Thomas is going to be a top 5 wide receiver, until you get a quarterback that's better. You know what I'm saying? That's facts. Horn is going to be ready. And I wouldn't be surprised if Horn really tears up or competes with Evans and Michael Thomas and Julio and Kyle Pitts. Horn is a dog. I mean, like I said, I don't have bias, so I don't need to talk shit. So
That's oven roasted turkey piled high with crisp veggies on freshly baked bread. So let's get out there.
let them know, Shiv. Let them know. All right, let's go over some of these matchups that they are going over. Let me take a quick look here.
Get back out there. And with Coppertone Sport, we can reclaim the boulders, the backwoods, and the breakers.
All right, so Thursday night football.
Find your son. Every customer
Hey, the best unbiased channel, and there is nobody, and isn't that crazy how so many people are biased?
is there with them.
Truly Green's in the building. What to do, Tyron? I appreciate that. You know, I put a lot of love and energy and effort. You know, I got a full-time job, and I spend time reading, researching, watching film. You know what I mean? I never rubbed it in when we won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You know, like I've never said that Tampa Bay is going to win the next 2 Super Bowls and just started, you know, talking shit. You know, obviously it was a blessing for them to do what they did, but I like calling it right down the middle and giving you takes that you're not going to hear anywhere else. I say things that other people aren't going to say, and that's why I get the respect, and that's facts. Let's see here. Thursday night football, September 16th, after obviously the Tampa Bay matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. We got the Giants and Washington. Danny Dimes going against the Washington football team. I think the Washington football team can definitely win the division again, but look out for the Giants. Panthers and Texans on week 3, Thursday night football. Panthers should mollywop them. Week 4, Jags, Bengals. It'll be interesting. Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow. That'll be off the chain. Rams, Seahawks, week 5, October 7th. Circle that on your fucking calendar. You know, Matthew Stafford and Russell Wilson. Sign me up. That's going to be fucking insane. I love that. Let's see here.
Everything else good.
Jets, Falcons. That might be a sleeper, but you might get something out of Zach Wilson and Kyle Pitts in that game. Buccaneers, Eagles. Week 6, October 14th. Woo! Can't wait for that. Broncos and Browns. Packers and Cardinals. And let's keep going. See if I can keep scrolling down here. All right, let's see here. So we got Buccaneers, Eagles on October 14th. Broncos and Browns on October 21st. Packers, Cardinals should be awesome if Rodgers is there on October 28th, right before Halloween. November, Jets and Colts. Colts should mollywop them. Ravens and Dolphins. I love that matchup on November 11th. Patriots, Falcons. That could be a sleeper. Cowboys and Saints. December 2nd. I love that matchup. Dak versus Jameis. We could definitely see something there. Steelers, Vikings on December 9th. Chiefs, Chargers. Herbert versus Patrick Mahomes. Yes, sir. Sign me up. Niners, Titans on 2 days before Christmas. And then who else do we got? Browns, Packers on Christmas Day, as well as Colts and Cardinals. So that's what we got going on for Thursday night football. I absolutely love that. See if they're going to show me some more Monday night football as well.
NFL Network's live schedule release show.
All right, I'm looking at more of the schedule here.
We'll let you know this place is beautiful and it's gonna
Truly Green's in the building. Chase Young, Defensive Player of the Year potential this year. Absolutely. You know, not me being biased and me just, you know, calling it right down the middle. Of course. You know what I'm saying? You already know this. I mean, this guy's a monster. He's unblockable. You know, he is going to dominate week in and week out. You got to double team him. You got to triple team him. I think another guy that we need to really pay attention to, Myles Garrett, you know, especially with the Browns being better, you know, with getting a lot of help on defense. He could be in the running for it as well. There's going to be a lot of guys, but definitely Chase Young. It'll depend also if Chase Young and that team win, you know, the NFC East. You know, so if they win the NFC East and they go to the playoffs and Chase Young is 15 to 20 sacks, sack lunches, yum, 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 that's definitely going to make it more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And that's big facts.
Yeah, Kurt, the first thing we look at is who's that number one opponent, you know, because we start prepping right away.
I'm looking to see if there's any more schedules that they're releasing here.
And then you start to look at the prep of where are you going? Do you have any games that are back-to-back at home, back-to-back on the road, et cetera? And for us, it's been unique. This is the first time I've been a part of this where we literally have
Schedule release, baby.
alternate for every game of the entire season. So that's good for us. We like that. And then this will be the first time for myself and for a lot
Yeah,
of
but Teddy went 5-0 because you guys had a great supporting cast. You know what I mean? It wasn't Teddy. It was the offensive line. It was AK-41. It was MT. It was the defense. It wasn't just because Teddy was a great player. If Teddy was a great player, he wouldn't be on his 4th team in 5 years. If Teddy was such a great fucking player. You know what I'm saying? Teddy, came in on a team that had the whole supporting cast there ready. All you had to do is lay the ball up. And when he did, he didn't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? That's facts. Exactly. Let him know, Shiv. I mean, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to be able to figure shit out.
With the 3 quarterbacks that we have, we know that we got to put a really good plan together for all 3 of those guys.
Jacoby Brissett. I know Blake Bortles got signed to Green Bay, so I know that he got picked up there because of the Aaron Rodgers. They don't really know what's going on there with him.
We got to make sure that he has a successful entry plan. We don't know.
See if I can go over some more information based off the schedule here.
On our roster, and Andy's come in here and done a really good job.
But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys very, very much. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth, the Fanatic family.
It's going to be different, but I have a lot of belief and
All right, let me see if I can go on here and take a quick peek.
of our team to do everything we can to get off to a fast start.
All right, let's take a look here. Brady and the Cowboys on September 9th. Monday Night Football, Raiders and Ravens. The Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Falcons have the easiest schedules in 2021. So there's a good chance that the Eagles and Cowboys could make the playoffs. Maybe not the Falcons, but Cowboys and Eagles might be able to take advantage of that. While the Steelers, Ravens, Bears have the toughest. So you're probably not going to get to the playoffs with Chicago. Maybe the Steelers and Ravens, but depending on how the schedule is looking.
When you get that schedule is also where's that bye at? And we've had different areas in my 3 years here as a head coach of where it's been, and I really like where it's at there in week 10, where just like you said, you get to go through that first half of the season and see where you're building that identity offensively.
Who do you think will have the biggest jump from their rookie year to their sophomore year?
So you start to get a little bit tired.
That's a good question. As great as Justin Herbert was, and winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think that Herbert can have a big jump, you know what I mean? Because I think right now he's considered top 10 in most people's circles, right? You need better coaching. You got Keenan Allen, you got Eckler. You need the defense to step up, but you got, good pieces with Rashawn Slater on the line now. That's going to help tremendously. That's what Joe Burrow should have got, right? Instead of Jamar Chase, it should have got Penei Sewell for my Ducks, all right? But Justin Herbert got the left tackle or guard. You can move him around, but more than likely it's going to be a tackle for Rashawn Slater. And then you end up getting Asante Samuel Jr. on the back end. Hopefully him and Derwin James can stay healthy. But I think Justin Herbert could be top 5 quarterback. Like I said, you got Patrick Mahomes, right? Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and then I'd put Jay Herb right there at number 5, number 6. Yeah, Kyler Murray's great, and there's a few other guys that are going to be right in the mix, to be number 6, number 7, number 8 quarterback, in this league, right? But I think Herbert, what he showed under pressure was amazing. You know what I mean? I don't think I've seen someone throw the deep ball with that kind of accuracy that early in his career, rookie season. Even though they lost a lot of games, a lot of it wasn't his fault. It was the defense's fault. It was bad coaching, bad clock management. So, but I think there's a lot of guys that are going to make huge leaps and bounds from freshman to sophomore year. But I think going forward, I think Herbert is going to be known as like that top 5 quarterback kind of guy. He is crazy. I mean, I've seen him play front row in Eugene for years, and that's facts. But there's a lot of guys that are going to take big jumps and big leaps. Kyler could take a big leap in his game this year. Obviously, he's not going from freshman to sophomore year. But once you're in your 3rd year, your 4th year, if Kyler wants to be able to make the playoffs, even though you got Russell Wilson, you got Stafford with the Rams, Niners, on what they're going to do with Trey Lance or Garoppolo. Kyler needs to take a big step in his game. Carson Wentz needs to take a big step in his game, for this season. There's a lot of guys that really need to. Danny Dimes, it's either put up or shut up, especially with all those weapons they got. He might not be the guy. Rams, Bucks. Ooh, that would be in SoFi. Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
We're delivering for the earth.
Let him know, Shiv. Let him know. And if you're talking about Sam Darnold, it's not good. Why would you say that? You don't even watch the film. You haven't even seen him, right? You haven't even seen him at USC, and you're saying that based on, with him on the Jets. Who do they have? The worst coach in football in Adam Gase. No weapons. Your best wide receiver was Jamison Crowder. No one would have been good for the Jets. And even with Zach Wilson and all the pieces that you picked up there, they're still going to be a bad football team and probably a top 5 pick. It's going to take time. You know what I mean? You know, you got some players and a brand new coach, right? But I think Sam, I wouldn't say he's not good. That's just you being a hater, you know, and you just being, you know, someone that doesn't watch the film. But I think Sam Darnold going to Carolina, I think he can be good, and I think he can take them to the playoffs. That's facts. I mean, that's me not being biased. That's me just calling it right down the middle.
To my great-granddaughter, Sarah, whom I disowned after she recommended I go with the General for my auto insurance. I leave the entire...
You guys are funny when you guys try to talk shit, man. Know your facts, my guy. There's not very many people that would succeed with a horrible O-line, horrible running backs, you know, horrible wide receiving core, horrible defense, horrible GM, horrible coach. And then you expect Sam Darnold to be a Pro Bowler, to be a top 10 quarterback? Get the fuck out of here. No one's going to succeed when you have that kind of dumpster fire. It's like the Texans. You know, no one's going to succeed there. You know what I mean? No one's going to succeed there. It's going to be the dumpster fire of the league. Yeah, but it all depends on what the Bucs do this year. And we've obviously reloaded. You know, if we can get BA to stay, you know, we can have Todd Bowles to stay, Leftwich. You know, my run might not be for just like 1 or 2 more years. I could end up, you know, sustaining this long-term success, depending on how long Brady stays and if we keep drafting well. So, I mean, short term, it looked like it might be only like a year or 2. But this might be something where, if you look at my roster and how well I've done drafting with guys like Devin White, jersey I got on right now, there's not very many linebackers that are as good, or defensive players in general. They're as good as Devin White. Darius Leonard, Devin White, Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner. Those are the best linebackers in football right now. Don't disrespect Demario Davis and some of the others that are out there. But if you're looking at for player, you know, Darius Leonard, Fred Warner. So Leonard from the Colts, Fred Warner from the Niners, Bobby Wagner from Seattle, even though he's the OG. He's getting old. Luke Kuechly retired, right? He was an OG, triple OG. And then we got Devin White. You know, and then we'll have to see if some of these other guys can fill in the role. 2021 NFL schedule release. Live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. You can also donate on the Cash App as well. Smith from the Bears. Roquan Smith, yeah. I wouldn't say that he's on the same level, Steven, as Devin White, Darius Leonard, right? Fred Warner or Bobby Wagner, but Roquan Smith has definitely got some game. Facts. And then we got some guys this year in the draft. You know, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, you know, from Cleveland, and the Dallas Cowboys ended up getting their star linebacker now. So we'll have to see. But, I mean, we're talking about the best of the best as far as, like, linebackers. I don't think I've seen too many guys that really bring it game in and game out like Darius Leonard, Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner, and Devin White. Facts. Roquan Smith is good, but Steven, you can look at the stats, right? And they can say men lie, women lie, stats don't lie. But do you think anyone is going to take Roquan Smith over Devin White, over Darius Leonard, Fred Warner, right? Who's not as known by NFL circles as much, but he's a G. If you watch the film like I do for all 32 teams, as well as Bobby Wagner, who's been pretty much the best middle linebacker or best linebacker in football, not named Luke Kuechly, for quite some time. Roquan's good, don't get me wrong, but he ain't in the same level as those other 4, in my personal opinion. Everyone's got an opinion, right? You know, if you're talking about another guy like, you know, your boy Khalil Mack, then that might be something. You know what I mean? But Roquan Smith is a guy I always rooted for. That's facts. That's facts. 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. You want to drop your boy some Cash App? You want to help your boy out? You want to support your boy? You can do it. You can support your boy and I would definitely appreciate it, and that is big facts.
A season of stadiums full of NFL fans, and you may have heard again on this program, you can get tickets now for all 272 regular season games. That'll be
$ ORIONNWSF is the Cash App. You can go that route. I'll give you a shout out, or you can donate onto the channel itself. Like I said, you guys have been great. Best fans on planet Earth. Nola, the thing is you can talk shit about the Panthers, but they're more on the up and up than the Saints. The Saints are kind of trending downwards until you get a quarterback that's better than Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston. The Panthers are actually doing something. If you look at their draft picks and who they have, they're actually going on the up and up. Now, you got to get Ramczyk back, Lattimore. You got to be able to get certain pieces leveraged, right? But once you get your quarterback, then you'll be right there. But at this point, the Panthers are on the up and up. You don't know football enough. You're just blindly talking shit, and you don't know your facts. You got to look at the roster and who they have, especially if Run CMC stays healthy, and you look at their roster. They got a good football team. They got a good football team. And remember, Nola, you lost all credibility when you said how much better than you guys were than Tampa Bay, all right? Yeah, you beat me in the regular season, but you didn't win when it counted, okay? Said that Brady was going to be horrible, even though he ended up finishing in the top 3 in passing, all right? You can say rigged all you want, but the reason that we won, offensive line, right, defense, was there questionable calls in the playoffs and in the regular season? Of course, there always is, all right? But when you saw the Super Bowl, there was no denying the fact, all right? There's no denying the fact that Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. If you don't have protection and he runs for 500 yards, scrambling for his life, he still couldn't even throw one touchdown pass, let alone win the game, not even one. So it shows you defensive scheme, the coaching is very, very important. Very, very important. People don't realize it's not always about the players, it's about the coaches. I got 3 head coaches on my team. That's more than a lot of teams can say, all right? Byron Leftwich, OC, will be a head coach. Will he fail when he goes somewhere else? Of course. All right, but someone's going to give him a shot in a couple years. Todd Bowles will get a shot. Will he fail? Probably, unless he's the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after B.A. leaves. But he's a great defensive coordinator, right? He had a shot. It didn't work, and I'm glad I have him, And then you got B.A., the quarterback whisperer, and that's facts. Tyron, he said, I sent you $1. I'm sorry it wasn't 50. Hey, it's okay, my guy. I appreciate it. Tyron Crafton, $1 in the Cash App. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, dude. I'll reply with a thumbs up, my guy. Appreciate you. Anyone that sends me money on Cash App or on I get all the money when it goes through Cash App. If you send money through YouTube, they take a percentage. But obviously all the hard work and the effort. But like I said, you can be good during the regular season, but it all depends on what happens. It's not necessarily who the best team is in football. You should know this, Nola. Right? 38-3, you guys killed me, right? But how many people would you know, being a Buccaneer fan, would sit through a whole live stream or watch the whole game being dominated 38-3 and still give love to the other team? Nobody besides me, right? You got to be humble, right? You can be confident in your team, but you got to know your team compared to the others that are in the league, right? But when it comes down to getting hot at the right time, sometimes you don't have to be the best team. Sometimes you have to be the hottest team with the best depth, as well as having not as many injuries affect your team. And that's what Tampa did. Were we the best team in the first 4 weeks? No. Were we the best team in the first 8 weeks? No. Were we the best team in the first 12 weeks? No. All right, but once we hit December, right, and we started to get in a groove, then things started to change. We had an easy schedule in December. We took advantage. You don't even know what humble is, Nola. So humble doesn't exist in your vocabulary, all right? But maybe that's the reason why the Saints lost the Super Bowl, all right? You got too many overconfident, right, people saying how much you're going to smash me and how things are going to go. But like I said, with the depth, right, on the roster, and you know what I mean? It's more than just offensive line and running back. It's more than just Ramczyk, AK-41, Michael Thomas, Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan. You know what I mean? T-Rex was amazing last season. You got to have some humbleness. Humble. You got to have to be humble, like Kendrick Lamar would say. Bitch, be humble, all right? Because that's why, with me, I call it right down the middle, and you got to be able to be humble about things and know your team, but know also who else is out there and how their team is built. You know, it's not a coincidence that you have certain teams that win the Super Bowl or make deep runs in football, and teams that kind of choke, and teams that don't make it past the wild card round or in the divisional round. There's a reason why people lose, all right? A lot of times it's due to coaching, not the players that are out on the field, and that's facts. Do I like the Justin Fields pick? Like it. I fucking love it, my guy. The Bears have nothing. So to get someone that you can go in there, it's one of the perfect fits, just like I think Trey Lance is a perfect fit for the Niners. Mac Jones could have been a good fit, but Mac Jones on the Patriots is a good fit as well. Trevor Lawrence, perfect fit. Zach Wilson, perfect fit. But like I said, Zach Wilson is in the worst team, even though they got Robert Saleh there. All right. Robert Saleh's there, but it's going to take a few years for them to even be competitive with the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Might take a while. You know what I mean? They're going to have to get free agents. They're going to have to really work hard. And Saleh might get fired, before they actually end up being good or make a wild card. It's going to take a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm humble for Lil Wayne, and that's it. And that might be the problem, Nola. That might be the problem. You might need to change your perspective. You know what I'm saying? 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. So Justin Fields, I think it's a good fit, but I don't like Nagy. I don't like him as a head coach. They don't have weapons at wide receiver. Yeah, you got some running backs there, but the offensive line needs a lot of work. The defense has names, right? But they've never been the same since Vic Fangio left to coach Denver. If they still had him, then I'd be like, all right, the Bears, especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves, they could compete to be the NFC North champs, all right? NFC North could be champs, all right? Blake was a future Hall of Fame. Blake who? Blake Bortles? Come on, man. You ain't fooling nobody. Everyone knows I got credibility, my guy. All right? 3.4 million views. All right? 1,100 videos under the belt. Countless of hours. All right? Over 100,000 hours of blood, sweat, and tears, watching film, team websites, articles. Come on, man. I got the credibility. 13 out of the 15 first draft picks, which should have been 14 out of the first 15. I don't think anyone beat me. I haven't seen anyone else that did better than me. I know they have Daniel Jeremiah and all these other, Mel Kiper and McShay, but I don't think I've seen anyone else. I know a lot of those guys are great, and that's what they do for a living. But for me, not being on a major network, not on Pat McAfee's show, not on Good Morning Football yet, all right? But at some point, a door is going to open for your boy. 3 to 5 years from contending, not necessarily, Tyron. It all depends if Aaron Rodgers leaves. If Aaron Rodgers leaves, the Vikings have holes on their defense, right? The Lions are trash, so they're at the bottom. So if Rodgers leaves, Jordan Love, you can bring them to the bottom. So then it would be Bears-Vikings. So if you know what I mean? So if you really think about it, if Justin Fields plays pretty good, they could end up making it work. But Allen Robinson might end up leaving sooner than later. They need a whole revamp, and I think Nagy needs to go. I understand, Steven, right? But that's just me personally as a coach. I think there's a lot of guys that are better than him. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can go 12-4, but does anyone ever really believe in Chicago? And really, when you go 12-4 or when you have a good record, was Vic Fangio there? And that might answer the question. When Vic Fangio was there, when the Bears were good, they had a good team. But it wasn't because of Nagy and the offense. It was the defense. Let's be honest. Khalil Mack and all the different players that they had on their roster. That's what made the Bears great, right? Lamar Jackson, great two-way player. He needs to be able to stay in the pocket more. You got Rashad Bateman, which is great. So you finally got, some wide receivers. But the Ravens, I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. You know what I mean? You need to be able to beef up the O-line. Defense needs some work. Lamar, likes to dance a lot. You know what I mean? But the thing is, if you're going against the Chiefs, the Bills, the Browns, I would probably take those teams over the Ravens. The Ravens could still make the playoffs and do some damage. But Lamar needs to be able to stop running around with his head cut off, and they need to draft some wide receivers and bring some free agents in, right? Because when they were really good, they had Mark Ingram, right? And then now you got J.K. Dobbins, and then you have Gus Edwards. You need to be able to build the O-line. When they were great, they had Marshall Yanda, Hall of Famer. Then he retired, right? And then you got rid of Orlando Brown, right? You still have Ronnie Stanley, right? Ronnie. You got Ronnie at the left tackle. Ronnie, right? But then Orlando Brown didn't want to play right tackle, so you end up giving that up. So, I mean, you're addressing some of the spots, but then you traded one of your best offensive linemen to the Chiefs. So, I mean, for me, the Ravens are, probably a top 7 team in the AFC, but I don't think necessarily they're a lock to make the AFC championship game. And if they did, I would probably take the other team on the other side, whether that be the Bills, the Chiefs, or the Browns. Not to be a hater, but they just don't have a complete team just yet. You know what I mean? Running game is decent, right? But they don't have that bell cow just yet. J.K. Dobbins is kind of a change of pace back. Mark Andrews is great, right, at tight end, top 5 tight end. Lamar is great at times, but sometimes he can't throw the football. He's running around too much. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know he can tuck it and run, but for that team to be good, they need to be able to stay in the pocket and throw the football. You can still run RPOs, right? But the defense needs to be better. And I don't know, I hate to say it, but Harbaugh might need to go. Just like Mike Tomlin, who's never had a losing season. Sometimes, you fall on deaf ears, and sometimes you need to make a change. So Harbaugh and Tomlin, even though they won't get fired, at some point, they may need to go a different direction. Pete Carroll, another one. Pretty good coach, all 3 of those guys, Carroll, Tomlin, Harbaugh. But at some point, you might need to be able to mix it up and get someone different. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion. I mean, the coaches that I like, not Bruce Arians is God and he's the best coach. I like Sean McVay. I like Kyle Shanahan. Those are the guys that I like. Yeah, Shanahan hasn't won the Super Bowl, but I don't think that's not necessarily all his fault. But if you look at his play calling and his scheme and his youth and the way that he vibes with the players, he got Matt Ryan to be in that MVP. He got Matt Ryan to the Super Bowl. They didn't win 28-3, right? But he got there. No one would have been able to get there besides him. He got Jimmy G to the Super Bowl. Didn't win, but you got there. So I don't think people really realize how great of a coach Kyle Shanahan is. I would take him on my team in a heartbeat. Him and Sean McVay are my 2 favorite coaches in the league. Niners, Rams. You know what I mean? And I just like the youth. I like how smart they are. Their play calling is intelligent. You know what I mean? They know how to mismatch against the linebackers and the safeties. If they're going zone, man, corners, if they end up running dime, nickel, prevent, if you're looking at all the different schemes, those guys know how to manipulate the defenses better than anybody, in my opinion, in the league right now. Yeah, you got Belichick and all these other coaches out there, but those are the ones that I personally like the best. Bieniemy, the thing is, if Bieniemy goes to a team, like let's say if he ended up going to the Jets, he's not going to succeed there. Just like Saleh. I mean, you might be able to do a little bit better, right? But you're going to get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like Bieniemy is more of an OC. I don't know if he's worthy of a head coaching job, but some guys are just better at play calling. Do you see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's okay. Like Josh McDaniels. He might not have the leadership to be the head coach, but he's a damn good play caller for New England. It didn't work out in Denver. So sometimes your role as just being the man at calling plays, that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Some guys are just better at that certain position instead of being head coach and the play caller. That's just my personal opinion, and that's facts. But if Bieniemy goes to like the Texans, do you really think he's going to succeed? Who's he got for weapons? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Deshaun Watson might not even be there. It's a dumpster fire. You know what I mean? So even if you're a great mind that should deserve a head coaching spot, especially, if you're Mexican or Asian or black, right? You get a lot of these white coaches that are out there. Of course, we want minority coaches, OCs, DCs. You want head coaching, at least opportunities for people of color. Facts. Because a lot of them are very intelligent. Because for a long time, you just get the old whites, right? You just get the old whites as the owners, the GMs, the head coaches. And a lot of the colors of minority would get overlooked. They're like, oh, we interviewed everyone, and they didn't even interview a Chinese or a brother or a Mexican, or someone of color. You know what I mean? That might be well deserving. So it's kind of nice to be able to see a Robert Saleh get an opportunity. But as we go further and further along, we'll probably end up getting a Latino head coach, even though we got Ron Rivera. Obviously, we know, you're going to get more people of color out there, but I definitely think Eric Bieniemy deserves it, but I'm not sure if he'd succeed at head coach and OC and being play caller. I think that, unless he ended up staying, if Andy Reid retired and Eric Bieniemy was the head coach, play caller for the Chiefs, I think he could work there. But if he goes somewhere like a shitty team, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think he'd be better off just staying the OC there And then if they want to give him the head coach role, then it might work, right? But, I mean, obviously we know he's a play caller. Maybe he doesn't have the leadership to be a head coach. Those are two total different worlds. You know, there's not a lot of guys that can do both and do them well. Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, on the other hand, are guys that I think that could do both and be great at it. Texans, 20 years from a playoff window. Man, that's the worst team in football. And it sucks because my guy, Kayvon Thibodeau, who could be the next Khalil Mack, the next Von Miller, the next Myles Garrett, right? He's probably going to go number 1 overall, my Duck player, edge rusher, Kayvon Thibodeau. He could win the Heisman, right? Even though it's not, very common for a defensive guy to win it. But if he goes number 1 to the Texans, it's going to be rough. I don't want my guy from Oregon to go there, but he's going to be amazing. Bucs record next year. We won't have the best record in football. If we do, I'd be shocked. I mean, we obviously have all 22 guys coming back, suck up, all the coaches. I mean, we retain everyone. So I think that we could have a top 3 record in the NFL. You got to think right now, the Chiefs have got to be the team that will most likely have the best record in football. So they'll probably be 14-3, 15-2, the Chiefs. And then under that, the Buccaneers, I would probably say somewhere between 11 and 13 wins. Somewhere in there is realistic. We're going to drop some games. You play another team, they play good, and you know what I mean? You sometimes you lose some heartbreakers. Lost to the Saints last year twice, lost to the Bears, you know what I mean? Going to 11-5. Bucks going 17-0. I know Tom Brady wants it. He said he would give up 2 Super Bowls to go 17-0. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it for his legacy. I mean, that'd be amazing, but I don't know if that's really going to be possible to go 17-0 with all the parity that we have in our league. But the Saints record, and this is me not talking shit or whatever, but there is a possibility that the Panthers have a better record than the Saints. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's all about Jameis Winston. If he has more than 18 to 20 picks, right, you're probably going to be sitting at like 8 or 9 wins or less. Right? But if he has like 18 or less, then you're probably going to be above 9 wins. All right? But if you're 10-7, that might make the wild card. It might not. But, it all really depends. I kind of see the Saints right now, just depending on what Jameis is going to give you, somewhere probably between 7 and 10 wins. You know what I mean? If Jameis plays bad, probably 7 or 8 wins. I don't think they're going to get any less than 7. I don't see them being 7-10 or worse. But if he plays like shit, 7-10 might not be a bad thing. They might be able to get a good quarterback in the draft and then be able to be right back there and contending for, NFC South titles and NFC dominance, right? But if Jameis plays good, right, then I could see them hitting maybe 10 wins. You know what I mean? Maybe if everything goes right for the Saints and they have no injuries and Jameis plays lights out, maybe 11 at the most, right? But I'm not sure if that would be good for you guys long term. But if I had to take a guess, probably 8 to 10 wins is kind of where the window I'm seeing with the Saints right now, unless Jameis plays great. And if he plays great, then we're talking about 10 or 11 wins, in my opinion. So, but I don't think like the Buccaneers are going to have that many more wins. Like I said, the Rams should be sitting. The Rams could have the best record in the NFC. I could see the Rams winning 12, 13 wins. And I could see Tampa Bay 11-13. The most wins I could see for the Rams and Tampa Bay is probably 14, right? And that might be pushing it. And at that point, you'd be like 14-3. And 3 losses is 3 losses. But, you never know how you're going to play on the road. And when you play on the road, sometimes you play off in like the first half and you just can't come back. You don't have enough time, and that's facts. So that's just my personal opinion. And then with the Panthers, the Panthers could be anywhere from 7 wins, but they could end up being a team that wins 9, 10, 11 wins also, like the Saints. So I wouldn't be too shocked. The only team that we can agree on that'll be shitty will probably be the Falcons, and they'll be below 7 wins, and that's facts. I'd be shocked if the Atlanta Falcons get to like 9 or 10 wins. And if that happens, that means the Saints, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers probably had a lot of injuries. 12-3 for the Saints. Or 12-5. I was going to say 12-3, my guy. Yeah, I don't think 12-5, because that would mean that you're going to have a better record than Tampa Bay, and that ain't happening. And you're assuming Jameis Winston's going to play great. You have way too many holes on defense. You have no wide receiving core besides Michael Thomas. Jared Cook is gone, right? You have Jameis Winston at your quarterback. Think about that for a second. You know what I'm saying? That's wishful thinking. Hopefully it works out for you guys. But even Tampa Bay, in my opinion, being the best team in football right now with the Kansas City Chiefs, people not saying 14-3, dumbasses are saying 14-3, Nola. If you're going to believe that, that's wishful thinking. You ain't going no 14-3. You ain't going no 14-3. Well, whoever's saying that is a fucking moron. Because you guys don't have depth. You lose Michael Thomas, you're fucked. He did fumble a lot, right? But if you lose AK-41, you ain't winning 14 games, right? Taysom Hill and Jameis, we don't even know if they can play QB. Let alone, you got a great O-line, right? And you have a good defense. But even the defense, you have no Sheldon Rankins. You have no T-Rex, no Jenkins on the back end. It's not like you guys are bringing back the whole entire squad and Drew is back. Now, if Drew is back and you have the same exact team from last year, then you might be able to say 11, 12, 13 wins. All right? But you're smoking crack if you think you're going to get more wins than last year and your team is considerably worse. That means you don't know anything about football, or you're just wishful thinking, or you're trolling. That's facts. I'm bringing back all 22 starters, offense, defense, all my coaching staff, my kicker, and AB, and I'm probably not going to even get that win total. So what does that tell you? And I'm light years ahead of y'all. All right? Tampa Bay is way better. Depth-wise, coaching-wise, overall as a team, and I just won the Super Bowl with Tom, right? You're not on the same playing field, my guy, and we're not even probably going to get 14 wins. What does that tell you? 2021, you do not have a bunch of depth at receiving, Truly Greens. Do you have Mike Evans? Do you have Chris Godwin? Do you have AB? No, you don't. You do not have depth. My receiving core is the best in the NFL. Your receiving core is nowhere near. You don't even know if Michael Thomas can stay healthy for the full season. No more Emmanuel Sanders, right? And I even have 3 tight ends, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Gronk. I got tight ends better than y'all. My receiving core is better than y'all. Even Scotty Miller is better than any of the number 2 receiver that you got on your team. Facts. You do not have a bunch of depth at receiving. You have a bunch of average players or below average. Facts. You got Michael Thomas, right? Unless you want to count AK-41 as a receiver. Yeah, but the thing is, once you get hurt one time, sometimes it's a pattern. We got to be able to see where it goes. Yeah, we do need to have a video of it. We got a 7th round from South Alabama. That doesn't mean you have depth, my guy. You guys don't have AB, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I got 3 guys, right, that are in the top 30, right? 2 guys that are in the top 10, top 12 in the league right now, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You have nothing near that. And I got AB, and if AB plays for a whole season, he might crack 1,000 yards. AB, as my 3rd best wide receiver, could probably put up more numbers than your 2nd, 3rd, 4th option combined. Yeah, he can still score touchdowns. Nola, you don't know anything about football. You make me retarded. You make me get brain damage every time you say stupid shit, bro. You obviously don't watch film. You don't watch film. Look at the numbers that he put up after his suspension. You don't know football, my guy. He might be one of the best 3rd option wide receivers in the league right now, even though he's a little older. All right? Even though J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney are older, doesn't mean that they can't produce. You said Tom Brady was old and he got a noodle arm. Beat your fucking ass in the playoffs. Huh? You beat me twice in the regular season. You got your ass kicked in the fucking playoffs. Facts. And then what are you going to say because you're ignorant? You're going to say, cheated, rigged, because that's what you do, because you can't give credit where credit's due. AB is good, all right? If AB was on your team, you'd be loving it. He'd be your number 2 wide receiver, and he'd actually be able to put up touchdowns. AB still got enough of talent to put up 5 to 10 touchdowns in a season. Yeah, how'd that Super Bowl look for you? Oh, you didn't get there. I forgot. Come on, Nola. Exactly. Roger Goodell, referees, cheating, scandal, Tom Brady. All right. I've heard it all. All right. AB still got game. He might not be the same AB when he was on the Steelers, but he could still run routes. He's still motivated, right? And if you put him in the red zone, he could still get you touchdowns. You know what I mean? He could still run routes. He's still got good hands. He might not be as good as Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, top 12 wide receiver, but he's still a top 25, top 30 wide receiver in this league. You do because you're fucking dumb, bro. You're so dumb sometimes. You want to try to troll, but no one respects what you say. We're boys, but you say dumb shit without thinking. Or you say things that aren't true. Or you say things that you think are true, but they're not. and then you look like an idiot in front of everyone in the room. Like, no one respects your football knowledge. Ask anybody in the room, anything that you say, trolling or not. You say shit that isn't true, and if you do think it's true, you're giving everyone brain damage in the room because you're making them stupider and dumber before they got into the chat. Come on, Nola. Yeah. Got more Super Bowl rings than you, boy. You the dirt on my shoe, boy. Tampa Bay. Dylan W26 in the building. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah. Yeah. But it's okay because when you're ignorant like that and you're cocky, and you can't give credit to other people, you're never going to have success, for the team. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? When you're someone like me that's not biased, calls it right down the middle, gives credit to the rivals, right? Good shit happens. Ended up winning the fucking Super Bowl. Tom Brady's back, bringing back everyone else. It's just the mindset of the person that you are. If you come across, as ignorant, too cocky, right? Nothing's good going to happen. There's a reason why the Saints didn't win the Super Bowl. All right? Coaching. But even though you like to say how great of a coach Sean Payton is, if he was such a great coach, you'd have more than one Super Bowl. Facts. 2021 NFL schedule release live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. Seattle. I mean, you can never count out Seattle. So even though the Cardinals and Kyler, it's put up or shut up, the Rams should get 11 to 14 wins, right? We don't really know what the Niners are going to do, but if they're healthy, they should be in that 8 to 11 win range, unless they have injuries and depending on who their QB is, Trey Lance or Garoppolo. Seattle's got to be still in the mix for 9, 10, 11 wins because they got Danger Russ, right? Top 2 quarterback in this league, right there with Patrick Mahomes, right? So, I mean, it's going to be tough. Rams are going to be good. Seattle, Cardinals, Niners might be the worst team, but we don't know. We don't know. But Seattle should hit, as long as Russell plays the full season, 9, 10, 11 wins. Because every time I think Seattle's going to go backwards, right, and then Cardinals or Niners are going to go up, Danger Russ, he plays like an MVP in the beginning of the season, starts to tail off at the end, right? But Danger Russ is good. I mean, the offensive line has been shit, and he's still able to get his team to the playoffs over and over and over and over again. The only people think that it's rigged, right, are people that are sour and that can't get over the fact that you guys can't win the big one, all right? The only people that think that kind of bullshit mindset is you, Saints fans, people that are bitter, that they can't get over the fact that the Rams stole that game from you, right? You had the Minneapolis Miracle, right? Then they beat you like 2 years later, right? Then you had the no call against the Rams. You're just bitter, and that's the only thing that you can say to make yourself feel better about things, that it's rigged. But no one else in the league as fans thinks that. That's just sour, bitter people that are just sad. And that's you and some of the Saints fans. You just can't get over it. It's immaturity. You're immature and you're bitter. That's the bottom line. You don't hear about any other fan base saying, oh, it's rigged, this and that. You think that because you can't get the big one. And you guys have choked over and over and over again. You don't hear any other fan base saying the shit that you're saying. Facts. Sean Payton is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. Second greatest. Incorrect. Because if you're second greatest coach in NFL history, you have more than one Super Bowl ring. Facts. Not second greatest. Not even close. All right? He's a good coach. He'll probably go down as a Hall of Fame type of coach, and if you go back and look at his pedigree, where he came from in the Cowboys, and he's been around before he ended up being a head coach, but he is not second greatest coach. You're fucking smoking crack if you think that. He's smoking crack. Yeah, but Nola hasn't got over it, and instead of giving me credit and giving Tampa Bay credit, all you got to do is cry and talk shit and be bitter. You know what I mean? That shows the immaturity in some of the Saints fans, right? Crying about how things are cheated and rigged and Roger Goodell. How about we kicked your ass? Good job. You outcoached us. You had better depth. You got Breeze retired. You deserved it. You were horrible for 10, 12 years, and you guys ended up being the better team and you won. But certain people can't admit, and that's the reason why certain teams don't win. Facts. It's all about the karma and the energy in the air. If you're going to be a crybaby fan base, you're never going to win anything. Never. You're never going to win anything. Facts. You got to grow up. Get past it. Move forward. Stop living in the past. Facts, facts, facts. Big facts. Because I know Nola hasn't got over it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You know, if you can't give people credit, sad, 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 man. That's the difference. That's the difference. 2021 NFL schedule release. Live stream with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. You don't need to argue, but the thing is, if you're going to come at me, and I'm not biased, and I love all 32 teams, and I'll give the Saints credit where credit is due. If you're going to say something that's biased of your own favorite team, that's not true, I'm going to call you out on it. Because no one thinks that Sean Payton is the second greatest coach except Saints fans that are delirious. There is nobody on planet Earth that thinks Sean Payton is the second greatest coach of all time in NFL history, except maybe Saints fans, and that's it. No one else thinks that. And if that's the case, I got to call you out on it. Sorry, I'm not going to agree with you. Well, you want me to agree with you and be just like everyone on TV and podcasting and all these other networks so just that they can have something to talk about? It doesn't work like that, my guy. Damn right we did. We had depth, right? You guys were great in the regular season, all right? But it's all about coaching, right? Offensive line, secondary, a team game. Message from a Golden Eagle. What up, Orion? NWSF Week 1. Gonna cook some steak, grill, Eagles. We play you guys this season, man. I'm excited. Is it like Thursday night football? It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. How are you, my guy? Troll Patrol in the building. What a schedule. What to do, my guy? Long day today. Let me take a quick look. See if I can see any other schedules here that are popping up. I've already been online for 2 hours plus, so I might end up ending the live stream here pretty soon as I'm going over the schedule. And then I'll go over the best matchups tomorrow, right? The top 10 best matchups going into the 2021 season. I'll probably do a live stream for that as well. And like I said, everyone is going to have their opinion, all right? But if you're going to say something that is biased of your own team and it's not true, I got to call you out on it because I call it right down the middle. You know what I'm saying? No one thinks Sean Payton is the second best coach of all time. Nobody. There are so many coaches in NFL history. Lombardi, right? There's just so many guys that are so much better. Joe Gibbs, all right, back in the day with the Redskins. I mean, you got to go through every single era. Bill Walsh. I mean, you got to go through all the eras, man. Best tight end currently besides Kelsey. That's easy. George Kittle. All right? And then besides George Kittle, it used to be Zach Ertz, who will probably be on the Indianapolis Colts. All right? And then you got Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, Raiders. But then we got a guy named Kyle Pitts, who should be in the top 5 as well. So it could be Kelsey, right? George Kittle, Pitts, Mark Andrews, and Darren Waller. And that's the 5. Your boy has no bias. I call it right down the middle. Sometimes people can't handle it. All right? NFC least saga continues, yeah? But we'll see. Cowboys, no guarantees. Eagles, no guarantees. Washington football team and the Giants are getting a little bit more love right now. But think of this. You got Devontae Smith, which is great. And you got Jalen Hurts, which I think is the quarterback of the future. If you guys don't play well this season, 3 first-rounders next year. So guess what? You guys are going to be able to pick up some amazing talent in next year's draft. And then if you want to go for a QB to compete with Hurts, you can. Or you can build the roster at tight end, offensive line, defense. So I'm looking forward to next year, 3 first-rounders for you guys rather than maybe this year. So we'll see. You guys might be a 500 team. You could win, the division. But you got to think the Washington football team, at this point, and the Giants. I'm not sold on Danny Dimes. Washington football team should win the NFC least, but you never know. It's up in the air. Yeah, even in this era, Sean Payton isn't necessarily top 2. There's a lot of other coaches out there, man. you can say in the last 15 or 20 years, he's been a top 5 coach. But you have got other guys like Pete Carroll, obviously Bill Belichick. You just got to look at all the different guys. Tomlin, Harbaugh. You know what I mean? Not a lot of guys have more than 1 ring. It's hard to win Super Bowls, and that's facts.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be more than 10.5 wins.
All right, I'm trying to take a quick look here. Brady's Foxborough return to be week 4 versus the Pats. I don't like that. That's a little bit early. Oh, Andy Reid definitely over Sean Payton. No question. Andy Reid and all those NFC championship games with Donovan McNabb and then getting the ring, over there and getting to another Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Andy Reid, is probably one of the top 10 coaches of all time. You know what I mean? But as of right now, Sean Payton has achieved some things. I'm not saying he's a horrible coach. In most people's eyes, he's a top 10 coach in the league right now. But his best days are kind of past him. And in the window where you could have won more Super Bowls and more NFC championship games, right, they kind of choked. Let's be honest. Sometimes it was the refereeing, right, making bad calls against the Rams, and sometimes getting outplayed by the Vikings. You let the Vikings beat you fucking twice. And you could have went to NFC championship games possibly those years and maybe Super Bowls those years as well. You might have not won, but that's the difference between good coaches and great coaches. You know what I mean? And sometimes the play calling for Sean Payton isn't the greatest. His play calling ability is not the greatest. You know what I mean? I can think of a lot of other guys that I would rather have over Sean Payton in play calling. And that's not me talking shit. It's just reality. There's been some good plays that he's called up, but there's been some bad ones too. Clock management and play calling isn't his strength. Facts. Because if it was, you'd have more than 1 Super Bowl ring right now. Blake Bortles going to the Packers. Schedule looks pretty good. Let me go here, see if there's anything else. Yeah, I definitely would put Andy Reid. Andy Reid is one of the best of all time. And it's not like I'm like, oh, Bruce Arians is the best coach of all time. Yeah, I'm happy that he finally got a ring like Andy Reid, and he's a quarterback whisperer, with Carson Palmer, and he's being able to work with a lot of different QBs. But obviously, when you have Tom Brady, you know what I mean, and then you end up having the offensive line with Tristan Wirfs, a stud like Devin White, getting guys like Antoine Winfield Jr. on the back end, a lot of things had to come into place, and it wasn't just Brady, Gronk, and AB. A lot of people that don't know football will say that, but it definitely was the offensive line, the running game, Lombardi Lenny, getting Leonard Fournette to pair up with Rojo. That was huge. The offensive line developing that chemistry, right, with Jensen and Tristan Wirfs. People would say how the offensive line was one of the worst in football, and the secondary was one of the worst in football. And by the time we got into December and towards the end of the year, they ended up having top 10 on the offensive line and top 10 in the secondary, and that's facts.
Week 13, though, this upcoming year, that's a Sunday night game. Week 4, that's a matchup that'll be played here at Levi's Stadium, and 2 out of the last 3 played in the Bay Area.
But I'll go over projected numbers, of wins and losses. I'll go over the best matchups, going into next year. So a lot of people, they have Tampa Bay, going 12.2 is kind of where a lot of people have. Having the chance to win the most games in the NFC. Tampa Bay, 12.2. 10.4 for the Packers. San Francisco, 10.3. Cardinals, 9.2. Washington, 9.2. Dallas, 9. Rams, 8.8, which is very odd because I think the Rams could win, 10 to 14 games. Bears, 8.7. Seahawks, 8.6. Saints, 8.5. So if you're thinking you're going to win 14 games, you're fucking smoking crack. It's fair to say that the fact that the strength of the NFC South, paired with questions at the QB, splitting snaps, I gave around 60% snaps to Jameis Winston and the rest of Taysom Hill post-Drew Brees era, was a significant drop-off for the Saints after winning double-digit games and capturing the division in each of the past 4 seasons. Michael Thomas, who played in only 7 games in 2020 and leading the NFL in receiving yards in 2019, should get into the end zone at least 7 times. Right, but for him to be able to be dominant, you're probably going to need him to get there at 10 to 15, but he normally hits around that 9 to 10 range. Nola, where's the pizza and wings? You tell me, man. I'm on a diet, man. My face is getting thinner. I've been exercising, working out. You know what I mean? I've definitely been putting the time to get thinner. I feel I've lost about 15 pounds already. I'm on my feet for 8 or 9 hours a day. So the struggle is real. The grind is real. And like I said, I'm excited to see where it goes. 4 miles? Good job. Have you ate dinner yet? I'm about to end the live stream, so we'll be able to get something. All right. Well, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. It's dinner time, and I'm going to go over, obviously, the projected wins, losses of all the teams, and I will go over all the different breakdowns on NFL Network and my top 10 games going into next season. So I'll be going over all kinds of NFL things on Thursday and Friday as well. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nola, sometimes you give me brain damage, but you know what? It makes things interesting in the chat. I hope everyone has a great day. Truly Greens, Nyland Saints, Nola, Nyland Saints, Tyron Crafton in the building. Message from an Eagles Fly, and everyone else in the building. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Tyron, come in the building, man, more often. Like I said, I'm always going to acknowledge everyone. You're going to be able to have a one-on-one with me in the chat. And even once we get more and more people during the NFL regular season, I always like to interact with everybody. So I appreciate everyone that donated, including Tyron Crafton and Odin's Child, everyone that commented, everyone that has their point of view. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, Fanatic family for life. And who else do you know that's got their own chain gang in the building? All right. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm going to be reading and going over the schedule more and more before I go to sleep tonight. I'll probably be researching and going over film for the next 3 or 4 hours. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. The NFL is sooner than later. We're getting closer and closer. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. 2021 NFL schedule release live stream. And I got one question for you. When talk sports like us, your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. Appreciate you guys. And I'm out. Peace.